Run from it. Warrior Shrine Season 3 arrives all the same. It's been a long time coming, and thank each and every combatant listening out there throughout the realms. Thank you for joining us. For any new listeners out there, the Warrior Shrine podcast is the resident gameplay-oriented show on the Nethercast Network. Our target is discussing the game systems and features and everything else good and bad about gameplay. We often drop our combos, though, and talk about anything else that comes at us, like, does Shao Kahn wear red? And is Jade's story green? We got a great Q&A community built here. And we tackle a lot of listener questions. So please jump in, block stun us with your questions. That's one of the best parts of the show. And I hope you all enjoyed the spanking new theme song there for Season 3. I decided to just whip something new up after watching that MK11 announcement trailer. I'm calling that track The Dead Courtyard. I'm going to laugh my ass off if that's what they call the stage. I hope you dug it, though. Maybe I'll throw it up in the download in the YouTube description for anyone that might want to subject themselves further. Okay, let's get in there. Temp is fucking super here. Hear that? Yep. Fucking Evan is here from Ireland. The fucking test your minds. I'm not going to say his name.
Cannabis, right?
Close enough for porn.
God damn it, dude. Don't make me look bad. You can say it, too.
I've been labbing it on mute ever since we started.
Oh, man. It's fucking King of the Hill. You're in practice while we're over here fighting it out. I see how it goes. That's a good strat, man. That's good. Okay, listen. Right at the top here, I wanted to say a thing because, fuck. MKHD. I was going to talk about it a little bit last time, and it didn't record. The fucking God smote it, and for whatever happened, it didn't record. But it was fucking weird because the leaks since then have been just pelting us. Leaks. I didn't think that leaks. I've made jokes about leaks in the past. I never was serious about that shit. Well, no, I was, because Warner Brothers leaks all the time. But, it's like, I always had the feeling like, it's not an official thing that we did with Warner Brothers until something leaks. And boy, like, just yesterday, leaks were still coming. And Tester Mike caught this one too. I was informed of this. Someone messaged me and was telling me about shit, and I was like, what? Like, it was weird. It's weird. It's weird. For the past month, I've been running a gauntlet, more than a month now, maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months, running a gauntlet of just surreal shit, milestones for the scrapbook, and that was one of them. Again, last night, hitting that message like, "Hey, dude, I'm sitting here playing Mortal Kombat HD." Huh? How does that? What? Sir? And yeah, apparently, like, Evan, I'm sure you saw this because you work over there, right?
I did indeed. My esteemed colleague, Mr. Hellblazer Hawkman, he picked that up. I'm 90% sure I was asleep because of time zones. But yeah, I saw it and I was reasonably impressed by it. I thought it looked very pretty.
Oh, you played them. You played the alleged leaks.
I played the alleged leak. I thought it was very pretty.
They're not alleged. I don't know. I shouldn't say alleged. They're legit leaks.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a leak, but like if Django's saying alleged, I'll say it.
No. It's not alleged. And that was the fucking weirdest part. The weirdest part was hearing, the name iBallistic attached to this. And that's the part that made me like, clinch up a little bit. It's the same one thing I did whenever that fucking Max video went up a couple months back or whatever. Like, what? Okay, wait, what now? But I mean, it's fucking out there. I really, it's not the light that I wish that shit got seen in. It's not the most, it's not the best examples of what we worked on. It wasn't like the later builds or whatever, but I'm kind of okay to, I guess, that people got to see some of it at least, but it was weird and scary. It still is kind of weird and scary because I'm not sure where the blast radius ends, where the safe zone is. Like, what else is fucking good at League? And at this point, I just hope that nothing leaks from like further with the iBallistic guys. That would be what really, really bums me out. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that nothing like what we're working on right now leaks, because again, I don't know what the safe zone is. It's really scary. But I think hopefully we've been fucking talking like crazy with the crew. I think that maybe we've got the situation contained, hopefully.
I'd be very surprised if your current project leaked, because just it's hard to identify a new IP, and it's hard to write an article about the leak of a new IP unless you have something sort of.
You're absolutely right, and that's our security blanket through right now. It's like no one knows, so no one can give a shit. But it's like, also, where is this leak and how did it get out? And who had access to what, and what else might they have access to? That's the scary stuff. And that's the only thing that we're kind of worried about is like personnel type things. I'm not worried about people seeing it and whatever, because I think if people saw it, like they wouldn't have any necessarily get any context or whatever. So it'd be like, what the, like, who gives a shit? But still, I don't want it out there because I don't want shit to get seen that doesn't need to be seen yet. That's not ready. And yeah, just all kinds of bullshit. But for World Combat, I'm glad that it's out there. I'm glad it's done. It's not done. It's still happening. It happened yesterday. It's so weird. But still, and it's the funny thing is that I said it on the last episode. We've never actually said anything ourselves. We've never really taken our own voice and said things firsthand. And since then, more examples of that have happened. Again, even with the leak from yesterday. The thing that's going up on Test Your Might when I get it to Evan will be the first thing. By the way, tell me if I start roboting or anything. Anybody who's listening.
You actually sound really good to me.
No, you sound good.
I haven't heard anything yet.
Okay. I'm always a little paranoid because, boy, have we had some problems with that before, with Cyraxing out and stuff.
Even during the show, you were cutting. You got better as it went on, but you were cutting out quite a bit early on.
Oh no!
That was on the Nethercast earlier.
Okay, well, please do stop me if that ever happens.
Yeah, stop me. Like,
stop me, obviously.
We'll stop each other.
Everybody stop each other. Yeah, it'll be beautiful.
Yeah. So the first thing though that we're gonna say first up for ourselves, I'm gonna give that to Evan over on the TYM. Not a leak because it's coming from us. It's coming from me. It's coming from all this stuff, and that will be going up. That will be going over to him pretty soon. I have to finish it up. That's all coming from me. I'm putting it together myself. And since it has taken a little bit more time, I've tried been polishing up. It's there might be some closing MKHD thoughts just because we want fucking closure there, man. We want to. There's nothing else we can do about it. It's done. It's done. We're done with it, but there's nothing else we can do. We want to move forward. So some closure there will be nice, but also putting some fun stuff in there for what we're in the throes of working on right now. I'm not gonna. It's gonna be fun. I've got some stupid fun shit planned for it. Evan doesn't know about it, and he's gonna see it and be like, "Oh, okay." I won't promise too much about what it is about the future, but I will promise media from what we're working on, and that's what I'll say. And I really, and it's media.
It's not porn, is it?
It's not. Well, I mean, that I don't know what you. Everyone classifies porn differently, sir. So what you do with the information that one takes in from what I'm going to give you and everyone that sees it, what you do with it from there is what defines it as porn or not.
It's a fair answer.
I don't think it's porn. It's not porn for me. It's not porn for us over at iBallistic, but boy, it might be porn. I'm thinking about it now.
Well, at least you have the benefit of might be. Because Soul Calibur 6 is just porn. It's just fucking porn.
No. Okay, that's not what it is. This is a different kind of like eye candy porn. No, I'm not going to promise that either. Some of the stuff in the game I've seen, I will say that. Just like this shit looks so fucking good sometimes. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's what's going to be in the thing. I'm talking about the game. Whenever we show it more, some of the shit in there, you've seen the art that these guys produce. Okay, they're not bad at producing such art, and boy, more of that sort of stuff is great. But yeah, I am promising media with the intent of being like, we care about the stuff that people like Mortal Kombat for, and that's all I'm gonna say about that for right now. I will say this as well. One quick question, and then I'm going to get to the next thing, which is Evan. For new fighting games is hard. New fighting games IP are very hard. It's one of the hardest things. We talked about it a bunch. We talked about it with Omen of Sorrow. How to get people into it. The importance of lore, gentlemen. Lore. On this podcast, I'm going to say the importance of lore is very important, I think. Getting people in and getting people interested in what to fucking just look at your game. And that's something that we are very much paying attention to with what we're working on. It's not just about the buttons you push and what they do. It's a lot about that, but it's also about the lore. And lore is important. I said it. Lore is important.
Well,
do you guys think it's important?
I've written.
If you were going to get into a new fighting game, how important is the lore? Just like, you know.
Well, the only fighting games I like, I'm into the lore. So, you know, Mortal Kombat, I've written like 35,000 words on the fucking thing. And then I'm one of the few people on Earth who actually think Tekken has really enjoyable lore. Because for me, I think I see Tekken's lore as kind of Shakespearean. It's bizarre, but this kind of Shakespearean opera thing. Whereas some people, like say Razor, just sees the endings where they're all in little thongs and they're sent up to the moon.
Well, I like both. I like the tragedy, the sadness. I like both.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on why Razor fixates on the men in bikinis. I'm not going to comment on that. That's for others to do. I think lore is hugely important in a fighting game because a fighting game is the purest distillation of character and of lore. Because when you see, like say, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, all you see is a dude in black and yellow and a dude in black and blue. What gives them such character is knowing the lore behind them. What makes that mean something, what makes that more than just two different colored sprites on a screen is knowing the lore behind it, just knowing the Shirai Ryu and the Lin Kuei, etc., etc. So for me, go on.
No, I was just going to say that's what kind of makes video games important as an art form. Like, I like novels, but I can't really engage a novel. I can only experience it. But I'm saying with the painting, I can see a really beautiful painting, but I can't connect or engage it. I can only look at it. What makes fighting games unique is they take artwork, really nice art and story, and I get to connect to it personally and take ownership with it like a unique way. Like if I play the game and I play it well, I create a style that only I can play, even if it's bad. Like the way your brain is wired, my smoke is my smoke and no one else's, no matter how many similarities. And you can't do that with a novel or a painting or even a movie. You can engage art in a video game context in a way that connection is just not possible with other media. So I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, so I would agree with Django's statement. I think lore is incredibly important in a fighting game. It's more important than any other kind of game.
I'm glad you guys think so, because we think so too, and we're working very, very, very hard on our lore and premise and all of that stuff for this game, and I'm trying to get a little piece of that into the update I'm going to be handing over to Evan for Test Your Might before very long, very, very soon. And that is the conclusion of that little snippet. I know Evan had a statement that he needed to say or wanted to say about Test Your Might. Go for it, dude.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. First of all, I'll do the traditional Test Your Might plug on all Nethercast things. Go to Test Your Might. It's the best forum for all things Mortal Kombat. The single best forum for all things NetherRealm Studios and Mortal Kombat, where I am one of the staff writers. We're doing a whole new overhaul coming up soon, so the OTOM's always had a great reputation in the scene, but it's going to get even better. We've got so much shit planned. I can't actually tell you what it is yet, but trust me, there's a lot of money going towards this, and there's a lot of effort and time from some very dedicated people. If ever there was a time to up your engagement in the community and to up to get good, as it were, TYM is the place to be. With that said, I can actually do a word first here on the Warrior Shrine. I know Django knows what I'm going to say. I don't think Temp does.
No, I don't. I'm excited.
And there should be a post coming up on TYM about this later, but I can confirm that TYM will be present at the Mortal Kombat 11 reveal events.
I forgot about that. Yes, I'm excited. Go on, please.
I will be present at the London event, and my inestimable colleague, Mr. Hawkman, almost certainly will be present at the LA event. So, obviously, what that means for us is that we can get...
You're at both? Wow.
Yeah, we are. As far as I know, we're the only kind of fan site, and I think still one of the few news sites on the internet who will be at both. So we're going to have...
That's cool.
Yeah, we're going to have total coverage. So there's going to be first impressions from me, first impressions from him. Importantly, we're going to be there. I'm going to be there with guys like Ketchup and Mustard, Irish Mantis, hopefully used for Blue, scrubs like Brain Dead. Oh, I'm going to be there with those guys. So I'm going to get the impressions of some really, really top players on the game, as well as just the experience of being there. And so what this means for the Warrior Shrine, I suppose, and this is something I was chatting with Django about, was I would be really hopeful that as soon as possible after that, I would jump on here. Maybe us boys would do a special Warrior Shrine where we break that down. And what that means for the Nethercast is, because this was discussed in the Nethercast Discord, you, the listener, I'm speaking directly to you now, the listener. I'm not speaking to Django or Tempo, I'm speaking to the listener. You don't need to ask gameplay questions of Shad or of Razor or of Cyborg. Okay? Because when they're going... No, just hear me out. When they're going to Los Angeles, you're going to get one who's wondering where his poutine is, eh? You're going to get another one who's just marveling at the pretty colours. And you're going to get another one who's like, Raiden's hat is 0.5 inches smaller than it should be. This is not canon. So that's what you're going to get outside of the Warrior Shrine. But in the Warrior Shrine, you're going to get it's going to be like that meme where you get like the Virgin Nethercast and the Chat Warrior Shrine. We're just going to be hanging. We're going to be talking about gameplay, meta. I'm going to have legitimate gameplay impressions from all of the top players. So it's Hawkman. So really, if you are in a position where you need to ask a question about the launch, I want you, the listener, to come here. Come to the Warrior Shrine, not the Nethercast, the Warrior Shrine. If you go to the Nethercast, I will fly to your home. I will kick in your door. I will beat you down into a bloody pile on the floor, and then I will mac on your honey. And while I am macking on your honey, she will say, "Oh my God, who are you? Why have you just beaten him down?" But it doesn't really matter because your triceps look great. And that's what's going to happen.
They do. Listen, this man.
So that's what's going to happen. So I suppose as a summation of that, and I can't really remember what I've said over the last 5 minutes, but the important thing is I'm going to be at London, Hawkman's going to be at LA, it's going to be tight.
Oh, it's going to be really
I like it a lot.
tight. It's going to be
Rock and
really
roll.
tight.
Metal.
Oh my God.
You hear that, Nethercasters? Shots fired, bitches.
Yeah, shots fired, bitches.
Did you hear the promo? The promo, like...
I should have rehearsed that.
You shouldn't have. That was perfect.
I like the part about where he magged on his girl. That was good shit.
I think the phrase I used was honeys, Tempo. I wasn't macking on girls. I was macking on
dude.
honeys.
I like that better. It's sweeter.
Yeah, it's an important distinction.
Man, listen, and this guy kicks your door down. Listen, this dude does fucking MMA and shit, right?
Well, to be fair, I herniated a vertebra in my neck like 3 weeks ago, so I haven't trained in 3 weeks.
No. Yeah, okay, dude.
Just 3 weeks? You know how many things I haven't done in 3 weeks, dude?
This guy hasn't trained in 3 weeks, guys. Okay, listen. He's so rusty. God.
I am pretty rusty.
No, listen, this guy's fucking, when he kicks down your door, Jesus, just don't let him. Just open the door.
No, I'm not knocking at the door. I'm just I'm just going to kick the door in. It's going to be like in.
Just look out your door and open it when you see him coming.
Yeah, if you see a short, pissed off looking Irish dude with glasses and a beard, just open the fucking door.
Oh no, fuck that! If the door's already open, you close it and you kick that shit down, dude.
It's open.
Excuse me, sir. I'm here to make a point. Close door.
Nope, I've got a job to do. Don't get in my way. I don't come to your workplace and fuck around. No, that's good. Yeah. That's how to do it. Okay, well, does that conclude your statement? That was a goddamn statement.
I think that concludes my statement. Yeah, so like obviously there'll be questions that the Nethercast boys can answer. I don't know the first thing about art, whereas Cyborg does. To me, they're just colors. Razor is the lore guy. Whatever lore we're going to get from these events, I don't know. But the idea is, if there's gameplay questions, the place to come is right here on the Warrior Shrine, and I will be there.
Amen.
Well, man, you heard it from him. And
amen, brothers.
I've tried to say it. I've never said it as well as that. Man, that was way better. It's okay. Wait, it's all January 17th, right? Both of them.
It is indeed. Yeah, it's simultaneous. Actually, it's happening at the exact same time, which means that the London event is going on from 6 o'clock at night to 1 o'clock in the morning. So it's going to be a hell of a time.
That's crazy. That's nutty. It's so funny. Like, they haven't talked about it much, but just imagine what they're going to do to Razor. They're going to make it happen. I mean, I don't know. Just like leading him around like fucking with the harness. Like, listen, don't harass them about Mortal Kombat 9 too much, please. Like, come on, man. Like, listen, we feel a lot of the things you feel. Well, we feel some of the things you feel. Probably not quite as hard. Maybe as hard. But
not as intense, certainly.
Don't kick Ed Boon's door down while you're there and try to mac on his honey. It's not going to work out. It's not going to go very well. And it's going to be embarrassing. But I wonder, like, this is what goes through my head. I have fun imagining just what's going to happen when those guys get around anyone NRS related, and if what might come out of Razor's mouth.
Well, what I can't wait for is, obviously we won't be there to see it, but like the first time they all see each other live and in living color, the really awkward, like 5-second silence that will immediately ensue. I would love to bask in that silence.
Yeah, it's whatever it is, and there better be a hug. I'm pulling for a hug. It's a big group hug, and whatever it is, just record and upload. Record and upload. You have to do it. Initial reactions to the meeting. Reactions to the meeting. Get them up. Record it. Upload it. Put it on the channel, and I'll give it a watch. But no, the important stuff is, yeah, I was concerned for a minute that the two gameplay guys were the two guys not going to either of these events because, of our own schedules, and fuck it. We can't. Like, I wish we could, but like, this is the most busy I've ever been in my fucking life, and I'm pretty sure to say for Tim.
Well, see, that's the benefit of I run my own practice. So, like, if I say I'm taking two days off to go to London,
hear this fucking dude? He has a practice. He does MMA. Fucking look.
I'm basically Daredevil, is what I'm saying. I'm basically Daredevil.
God. And he's Irish. I feel like Daredevil should be Irish anyway.
Well, he's Catholic, so he's kind of honorary Irish.
Yeah, no, he's by extension. Yeah,
he's really close. But yeah, then with Evan going, as soon as I heard that, I was like,
yeah, I got your back, boys.
We're saved.
See, I didn't even know that, man. The fact that TYM is covering both events is crazy. Yeah,
I'm
sure you guys are in. Other than that, it's just like IGN and GameSpot, and that is probably not even them. I don't think they're going to both.
No, I really, obviously, I haven't looked, but I don't see anywhere else. Well, I haven't looked that closely. I haven't seen anywhere else publicising that they'll be at both. So shout out to NetherRealm for helping make this happen, because I think it's a great recognition from them of, where the fan community, the fan community is based and where the support is coming from. Because you got myself and Hawk churning out a lot of stuff on TYM, really, beating the drum. I've got a series of articles that are finishing this week, hopefully. And starting in the new year, I'll be doing a series on the history and the kind of timeline of MK. It's it's a labor of love. It's about 35,000 words, and I can't wait to get that stuff up and get that criticized by Razer and Chrome and that stuff, and have them tell me how much I don't know about the series.
Oh man, that's exactly how it's gonna go too, man.
No, they won't, because Chrome and Razer will be too busy arguing to even notice.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
It's fighting it out already.
Man, that's sick, man. This is fucking good news. Lots of good news, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear about what all like the guys that you mentioned, guys that you can get a question or two in with. Like that's
I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, say Catch and Mustard will have their own thing on their YouTube channel. So I had a brain fart there. They'll have their own thing up on the YouTube channel. But, hopefully we'll go for a few drinks after. I mean, I don't drink, but I'll have non-alcoholic stuff.
We'll go for a few teas. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you having a tea, by the way?
I've had this earlier. Well, I mean, I was up an hour and a half before we started recording. So I had 3 cups of peppermint tea.
Nice. I'm drinking tea as well.
Peppermint tea. I had some Earl Grey not too long ago, just a little bit earlier.
See, caffeine gives me headaches, so I can't even drink normal tea.
I have not had caffeine in like a couple days. I told everyone earlier, I'm having the first sinus infection I've ever had in my life.
Oh, they suck dick.
They do, and that is the consensus as well. Everyone else is like, yeah, those suck ass.
See if you get a sinus rinse bottle. I use one. I swear by it. It's awesome.
Yes. Everyone is recommending me those things.
I do the kettle thing, honestly, and it honestly is the only thing that helps. There's no Tylenol, Advil. The spray is good, but it's a temporary solution. The kettle's the only thing that actually stops the infection.
I went to the doctor just fucking yesterday, and she felt up my face, and it was definitely in the sinuses. And she was just surprised, like, you never had a sinus infection? Never had a sinus infection. So she didn't believe me. That's why she was poking around. But we got to the bottom of it. It's a sinus infection. And I've got like antibiotics that hopefully help me out, because I've had it. I've never had one, so I've had it and didn't realize it for about a month now. Yeah,
that's the worst. Like, I remember like 6 years ago, I think, I thought I just had a bad cold, and it turned out I had a simultaneous sinus, throat, and chest infection, which basically broke on Valentine's Day, and my girlfriend was like, I'll come over and look after you, and I was like, no, you fucking will not. Like, I was, I can't even call it phlegm. It was, oh my, it was disgusting.
That's not, ooh. Is there something else in there? There might be something else in there if it's black. Maybe not.
Well, it could have just been my soul leaking out. I haven't felt quite as warm since, so it could have been my soul, but leave that to one side. Well,
if your soul was black and you got rid of it, then you should feel warmer, I would imagine. I don't know the lore, though. Man, I don't know.
No, I don't know the lore either, to be honest. I don't know the lore either.
We should ask Razor about blackness. But no... Man, I'm so glad. It's pissed off, though. It's been there so long, just chilling out. Now that I've started taking stuff for it, it's pissed off, and it's trying to explode my face. But it's okay. We're gonna get
someone take that out of context. Someone take Django saying explode in my face.
Sure, please. I've tried.
If there's ever a soundboard, I want that on the soundboard of Django just saying explode in my face.
I've tried so hard.
It'd be so warm
at the doctor's office. All that I kept wanting to say, but I was like, listen, for the past month this has been here, and it's felt like, I want to say it feels like a really fat chick's been sitting on my face. I'm not gonna say that, and I didn't say that. I think I did start to say it, and I just said someone's been sitting on my head. But I tried to keep that to a minimum too. But that's really, I mean, that's what it feels like. It feels like someone's crushing my fucking skull, and
she's a really fat chick.
And, if I was going with the sit on the face euphemism in my brain, so I just made it a fat chick. I don't know why. It could be, listen, whatever. It's a dude sitting on my face.
I think just made it weird, to be fair.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter which way you go. It's bad. You don't want it.
Well, speaking from experience, having a fat chick sit on your face is bad. I've had that experience.
I don't... Dude, listen.
My neck still hasn't recovered.
Imagine the worst. Obviously, you got vertebrae problems.
Yeah, vertebrae problems. Yeah.
Imagine the worst thing that could possibly be sitting on your face, and that's what's on my face, and it sucks. It's okay though. I've got drugs and hope, so hopefully that can get through that. Man, okay, we did the Evan statement.
Can I just briefly?
Please go for it.
I literally just noticed something from the Discord. Chrome, is your like avatar picture Abaddon the spoiler? Because if it is, that's fucking awesome. I literally just noticed that, but that's...
Oh god, you're gonna ask him.
Points to Chrome. That's fucking awesome. Sorry, that just occurred to me.
No, it's fine. I gotta know now. We're all gonna wait.
Chromatosis typing. I think like he's got the Chthonian top knot thing going on, and I'm pretty sure that's a Talon of Horus.
Listen,
so I think that's Abaddon.
It is Warhammer.
See, I can't paint for shit, and I've no interest in actually playing the game. I just love 40k lore because
I can't awesome. Warhammer. But we've talked about this with Chrome. It's just, but listen, don't let my prejudice say anything about the actual quality of the product or me saying it. I'm sure 40k is great. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's Abaddon. Anyway, leaving 40k to a side.
Listen, congratulations, Chrome. You got a shout out, and congratulations. I think that's the first shout out for 40k on the Warrior Shrine.
Yeah, shout out to 40k. Shout out to my Chaos Nibbas. Death to the False Emperor. We have returned. Iron Within, Iron Without, etc. etc.
Listen to these nerds.
To be fair, like 40k is the best medium for quotes. Like, there's an amazing Inquisition quote, which is from Shame and Shadow recast and Black and Gold Reborn. It's you'll love this. It's there is no such thing as innocence, only degrees of guilt, which is just fucking awesome. Like, as a lawyer, I shouldn't find that awesome, but I do.
It's true. I agree with that quote.
That makes me uncomfortable. Fucking lawyers walking around with 40k quotes in their head.
I have a corn chain. Like, I have a blood god chain, and I wear that under my suit in court. And I'm just like, if only they could see. I just want to take their skulls.
You're such the fucking nerd.
I am massive.
Levels. It's okay though, because you're fucking terrifying.
Thanks, bro.
What is? Thanks, man. I'm terrifying. It's cool.
Appreciate that.
Okay? I have not turned the podcast over to Temp yet, which is I think this is a record.
I got questions ready for sure. I just want to make sure that I didn't want to step on the toes of any of the updates or any of the news.
I think I'm updated out. I'm hopefully I'm leaked out. I think he stated out. Man, he had some buff statements too. I think we're good though. I think. Temp, please.
Let's start with the obvious question. What do you think of MK11 so far? What you've seen, what you've read, what you've heard, just general reactions. What do you got for us?
Yeah, Tom, you answer that question. I'm going to grab some pills. I'll be right back. Go for it.
Well, I can't lie. I'm not hyped at all. I think it's boring. I don't see the point. No, obviously it's going to be fucking great, isn't it?
Hella boring.
I love the look of it. I love it's a really small point, but I feel like the colours pop in a way I don't think they've popped. They're popping even more than MK9, I think. There's that screen grab of Raiden. I've seen people say he's doing a trance. It looks to me like he's teleported behind Scorpion and he's shocking him. We've got the red lightning all over Scorpion. That looks gorgeous. I'm loving the colour. I'm not a huge fan of the costumes we've seen, but I appreciate that's probably, if anything we've heard is to be believed, that's due to the fact you can kind of mix and match costumes. They've got kind of an aesthetic gear thing going on, which is good because I really I wouldn't say dislike. In some of the screenshots, you can see Scorpion's new costume has like white bits and red bits on it, which that's Daddy doesn't like that stuff. But the UMK3 Scorpion, that looks the tits, as they say. Obviously, we're not going to know much until January 17th when we see the reveal. Up until then, I think what we have really is extrapolation, implication, and trying to figure out where the kind of the meta goes in terms of, we saw Injustice 2 essentially function as building on top of Injustice 1. Do we see the same thing for MKX, building on top of a big part of MK11, building on top of MK9? Or, fuck me, Pink. Do we see MK11 building on top of MKX, or do we see it building on top of MK9? Because, and this is something we've discussed before, the differences between MKX and MK9 are vast. MKX is such an aggressive, rush-down 50-50 game. Now, that was altered somewhat in the final patches, thanks to Christ. But when you contrast it to MK9, which is so footsie-based, 40% combos, I think zoning was probably weak in both games, Kenshi aside, but it was a much more patient game. It was also, I think, much less forgiving in a way, in that MKX is very unforgiving if you guess wrong. So if you guess heads when it's tails, you're fucked. But in MK9, if you make a mistake in the footsie game, which is, unless you know the footsie game, it can be much more difficult than 50-50, you can be fucked. I mean, MK9 has so many scrub-killing characters. Like, Ermac is an absolute... He's not a particularly good character. He's not top 10 in MK9, but he is a scrub-killer.
Yes.
If you don't know how to do it... Now, Noob is literally bottom 3, and I will say that to my death. But if you don't know how to deal with Noob zoning, or with his portal traps, he will fuck you up. For me, the interesting part about... Well, one of the interesting things about January 17th is going to be getting my first hands-on with the game and seeing, are they kind of... Because if we judge by the final patch of MKX, okay, if we judge by the final patch of MKX, they got rid of armored launchers. The wake-up game was much more neutralized, but it was much more normalized. The 50-50s was toned down as they could be in that engine. But considering we're getting a whole new engine, we're getting a whole new meta, presumably, are they going to go to the MK9 footsies? Is it going to be MKX 50-50s? So for me, that is the question going forward. And the really interesting thing here is kind of what do we expect and what do we want? And I think because the reveal was so good with the beta and the early access, and early access being it's coming out in like 4 months, and they played the marketing perfectly. And Tempu and I have both criticized them for the marketing. This has been flawless.
Yes.
This has been great.
It's definitely way better. It's
yes. I can't object to it at all. I think the community is kind of expecting what they really want, as opposed to being reasonable about things. Like, we're expecting to have all our deepest, darkest MK desires fulfilled.
No one is ever reasonable with this shit.
But I think this is even more unreasonable than normal. We want basically the hybrid of MK9 and MKX with like 45 characters. We want our 3D representation, but we also want the entire trilogy. We want variations, but we don't want it to be as bullshit and gimmicky as it was in MKX. We want gear, but we don't want it as bad as it was in Injustice 2. We want new mechanics, but we also want the old mechanics. So for me, I hope NRS know what they're doing, because the community expects seriously, like, the community has a seriously high expectation. And I think much higher than it was even for MKX.
Injustice 2 is a good indicator. There was a lot of improvements in that game that makes you very optimistic for MK11.
There was, but... Go on.
Well, just at least regarding just movement speed, inputs there were still problems, but it was a huge improvement over MKX. And just legacy gameplay, I feel like there's a lot. They're really listening. But I don't know. I would say there's some things I am a little worried about. The gear is definitely a big one. I don't want gear at all, but if it's there, it's not. I'll take that hit. I'll eat the throw in that case. But
well, I didn't mind gear so much, to be honest with you. I didn't hate it. My problem with gear was the implementation and the fact that it all looked basically the same. So, like, I mean, there's some characters that it did look different on. Batman had good gear, Superman had good gear, but like, say, Cheetah or Swamp Thing,
What are you going to put on those two though? Like those two characters just don't work with gear that well.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But if you're going to build your game around gear, then pick a roster that shows it off the best.
Yeah, that's a tough balance because it's like, but you want to have Swamp Thing. And I wouldn't want him to leave Swamp Thing out. And Ed apparently wanted Swamp Thing. He was hype about Swamp Thing.
Well, everybody was hype about Swamp Thing, and then no one fucking played him ever, which was very funny.
Isn't that something? Actually, I would really like the data. And boy, they hoard it. And Ed pulls it out like a ninja every once in a while. But I would love the data about like casuals, like how many people online like were in non-competitive mode just playing Swamp Thing, and like they can track non-online too. Just people connected, they're tracking that data, they're watching you guys, and I wonder how many people played Swamp Thing. Not us, the people out there. What was that number that Shad dropped? 5 million sales around there. I've heard that too from other sources, so I think there's some legitimacy to it.
And I think that number's dated. I'm sure it's way more than that.
Yeah, I imagine it's much more at this stage.
Yeah, and that's a huge number for especially for a fighting game. And he's right. Like most of those numbers are not like the definitely more FGC or competitive oriented. I like that word better. That phrase better. Competitive oriented players, especially with Injustice, are not that. Like they're the Injustice people are coming in because they want to fucking play Supergirl or some shit, which is fine. Or fucking Hellboy. I would love to see that data though. That's a juicy data that they're just holding on to. I would love to fucking. Why can't that leak? That's what I want to leak. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Swamp Thing and gear.
Well, I was just saying that I think that can be ameliorated somewhat in MK11 because we have the legacy. So you can unlock the Shredder helmet for Sub-Zero. You can unlock Raiden's long flowing hair for people who like that. There's so much, so many places you can go. And I know the counter argument to that is for Injustice. Well, they had 7 decades of comics to draw from. But realistically, it's not their comics, if that makes sense. NRS hasn't been making DC for 70 years. So I feel like there's a greater ownership. And they would be more comfortable saying, well, this is alternate gear for Scorpion as opposed to this is alternate gear for Superman. I mean, I like Superman's gear, but it boiled down to armor and gloves, essentially. I would, yeah.
Yep.
Boiled down to armor, gloves, and that god tier red sun symbol on his chest.
They got to run that shit through DC too. They have a lot more red tape to jump through.
Yes, yeah, and with Injustice, they would have to run it through DC as well.
Yep.
Whereas, I mean, they have to run it through WB, but you have to presume after MKX, WB is just going to say, yeah, you guys work away.
WB, they don't. Yeah, they're not nerds about Mortal Kombat to say the least.
Yeah.
Listen, you guys are making money. Keep making money, and we're good. Thumbs up.
Well, I mean, I think that itself raises a fear. I mean, MKX was hugely successful financially, but equally, there's a lot of things in MKX we didn't really like. In that it was kind of washed out. Color palette was kind of trash. The roster sucked dick. So, is the philosophy going to be in future? We have the trilogy roster minus a couple of characters here or there. I beg pardon, the MK2 roster minus a couple of characters here and there.
We've seen screenshots, so we know about the color situation.
The color situation has been resolved. But equally, I mean, if we cast our minds back to the Kung Lao trailer from MKX, that looked beautifully bright. Because Kung Lao has the glowy shit. That looked really bright. Looked really poppy. I'm not saying, the colors were poppy.
They were.
I'm not saying we're going to have anywhere near as washed out a colour palette as MK11. I do think MK11 is going to look much better. And I'm kind of getting MK2 vibes from the screenshots I've seen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm seeing this kind of unbridled hype building in the community as to how perfect it's going to be. And, no game is perfect. And I think Forever King made a really good point on Twitter the other day where he said, the same thing always happens in this community for better or for worse. When MKX came out, Injustice was trash. When Injustice 2 came out, MKX was trash. Now that MK11 is coming out, Injustice 2 will be trash. Are we going to trash MK11 like a month and a half after? And I don't think we are. I think, well, certainly not to the same extent, when MKX came out, I don't think I was the only one who was a tad disappointed by it. Now, the content is great. The story is much better than MK9. The roster, again, sucks dick. But it felt very, almost samey after a while. Every character felt kind of samey to me. And then you had just appalling shit like Tanya. I mean, CEO Tanya that was a game-killing moment. I honestly don't think the scene ever recovered from Tanya at CEO.
Tanya.
Tanya, yeah.
Yep.
But I think they've learned from the mistakes in that regard. I mean, I'm still very concerned about guest characters. I fucking hate guest characters. I do think the game will be improved, a huge improvement over MKX. I think we should maybe pump the handbrake a little bit in the community, because I think we're getting ahead of ourselves, which is understandable.
I didn't know that there was this much hype about, like, positive hype about it.
From what I've seen,
go ahead, yeah.
Sorry, from what I've seen, yeah, the hype is incredibly positive. From what I've seen, there's so little cynicism, I think, and it feels like a very genuine excitement for the game, which is great to see.
It is. I think a lot of that. Thank you, weird Scorpion in the trailer. Quote UMK3 Scorpion. I've talked about it way too much. It's not UMK3 Scorpion, but whatever. But no, still, thanks for that classic Scorpion. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, classic bullshit, woo, and they're not wrong. Like that was fair, really cool.
It's actually good looking classic shit, as opposed to MKX, where all the classic costumes look like ass.
Listen, that Scorpion is MKX Scorpion. The fucking vest is fucked up and wrong, and I get pissed about it.
The vest does look dodgy, but the mask looks so much better.
The mask is MK2. We talked about this earlier. That Scorpion is Mortal Kombat Mythology Scorpion. You go fucking look at Mortal Kombat Mythology.
Yeah, that's good shit.
Those crazy the fucking cinematics and those things. He's wearing the MK2 mask, and he's wearing the MK3 outfit. But still, the fucking square shapes are wrong. I'm gonna go Razor on the fucking trailer Scorpion. But it was the MKX, like, classic skin vest with the design and whatnot. Boy, look at him. See? Same dude. It's I forgot what I was fucking saying. Oh, Injustice 2 MK3 vests and whatnot look so much better than that shit. They look so good. Put them in that shit, and crank the colors like they're obviously doing, all that shit, and I'm gonna be so fucking happy if Injustice 2 just those classic outfits, like the classic masks and the classic vests, are in MK11 as gear or whatever they want to do it as. I'm gonna be so fucking happy, because I really like that shit in Injustice 2. And speaking of Injustice 2, Tanya, I liked how they handled patches and stuff like that in Injustice 2.
Yeah, that was an improvement. That was a vast improvement.
I think that they learned, and they're not as knee jerky as they were before, because boy were they for a while there in previous games. And I think that they're like, okay, listen, we can't listen to everyone on Twitter. Mm-hmm. We gotta let things sit for a little bit. Like, sometimes when people say that Takeda really sucks, he does really suck, but we shouldn't patch him just because somebody said that he really sucks. Maybe there's ulterior motives.
I agree with the second part.
I also appreciate the patching strategy in just 2, because it proved me right, in that all they did basically was just slightly tone down Superman's damage, and he's barely top 10 now.
Look,
I was proved right. There's nothing.
Let's not get into the nitty gritty.
There's nothing wrong with that character.
It's not. Listen. I don't want to talk about Robin.
But to be fair, to be fair, they're getting much better with balance. I mean, if we go back to,
they are, yeah.
It was a game of essentially 5 to 6 characters, and they were all fucking dumb. MKX was much better in that regard. Maybe with the aberration of Alien, who was pretty fucking dumb for a while, and then Jason towards the end of the game, who was also fucking dumb. But
Jason is very underrated. That is a very strong character.
Yeah, Jason's a top 5 character in Injustice. Jason and Melina
character in the game,
or in MKX. Yes, he is. And Melina, I've at the entire run of that game, I was like, do not buff Melina. she's fucking fine. And then they buffed Melina, and she had like 3 top-tier variations.
My God.
Injustice 2 then, like, with the exception of first release Aquaman and first release Black Adam, well, yeah, basically Black Damage, the game was basically fine. The priority on Catwoman and Batman's normals were a bit fucked up. But apart from that, I was really, really happy with the balance.
Are we talking about month 1?
Yeah, after about month 1, I'd say, yeah, and realistically, in the modern era, like, that's a really, really early time to get a good balance in the fighting game.
I would say it was good after Evo. I would say the patch after Evo, it was mostly fine, no problems. But I would say launch balance, I feel like, I mean, the Aquaman was a big problem when the game came out.
Aquaman was a problem, yeah. I mean, I didn't experience it as much because Superman was a good pick for Aquaman. He did well against him.
I would agree with that.
I remember a lot of people.
Who wasn't he a good pick for? It's a good topic.
Well, you know, he's a good all-round character. He doesn't really excel in any area, but he's a good all-round character. You know what I mean?
Doesn't excel in any area. No area. Not a single area.
I don't think Superman excels in any area. His footsies are fairly average. His damage isn't great.
Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
He needs a string. What he needs is a reliable mid that can hit from, let's say, about 30% of the screen away, can be cancelled safely into left and then down one. That's what he needs. He doesn't have that. And that string needs to launch. That string needs to launch too.
Shut the fuck up. Evan, did you ever touch Robin like you were thinking about?
I did. I went and I touched Blue Beetle as well. I learned Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle's fun. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, while I'm on that point, you can't fucking laugh at Superman when Blue Beetle is the top 10 in the history of NRS fighting games. He has got fucking everything. Robin, I struggled a lot with because I'm not a Russian guy. I'm a zoner at heart, but I appreciated his damage output. I appreciated the way you needed to just kind of disregard how you play Injustice to play Robin. You play Robin like you're playing MKX. You just fucking go for it.
Pretty much.
Not my character, but
he's got to run for a reason.
He's got to run. And on that point, do we think Run is coming back in MK11?
We talked about this a little bit earlier. Tim, do you think it's coming back?
I hope so, because that was the one thing that really made... Well, one of the 2 things that made him really unique, but it was my favorite of the 2 things, was the Ronin shit. That was so interesting. I mean, nothing against the Shirai Ryu stuff, but that's Scorpions, which is fun. That has a place with Takeda. But the Ronin shit is really what defined the character and made him his own, in my opinion. So
what are you talking about?
Yeah, Tim, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, Ronin Takeda?
Oh, no, see, okay, sorry.
The running, I said.
Oh, the running.
Talking about
running. The run button.
Is running coming back? Listen, I'm sorry.
What the fuck is he talking about?
It's $1 billion in the morning.
I think it has to come back, because I feel like it started as an executive mandate, and I don't think they like the way the game.
You keep saying this. You keep spinning this. Fuck. I don't even remember.
Well, I do know that
they didn't like the dash cancels aesthetically.
Yeah.
What's up? Go on.
Yeah. I was just going to say that we do know NRS didn't like dash cancels, like dash.
Yes,
and I remember
that is
I remember being specifically told it was, I think, Cage's dash down 4. They really thought that just aesthetically looked hideous. So I think that maybe executive mandate is a bit of a strong phrase. I mean, that makes it sound like the president of WB was like, a run button shall be implemented.
It was definitely not that, because they don't know what a run button is. But
70% of that happened. I think 70% of that picture is correct.
It was probably Paolo and Ed and some of the other guys were like, let's do something else. If in their head, they were like, listen, let's give them a tool so they don't have to do that and they can still have the mobility. Their tool didn't work out as well as they did.
I don't even think it was Paulo, dude. I'm pretty sure it was a dude in a Warner Brothers suit saying "Eat sports, bro." I think that's exactly what happened.
Listen, we'll go with your narrative. Let's do that. We'll go with that.
I think they're stuck with it regardless, because if they get rid of Run, where to whom would they go to? I don't know what else there is, because everything else is dash canceling or no dash at all, which was Mortal Kombat Deception and Deadly Alliance. So I don't know how they could get rid of the Run without going back to the MK9 aesthetic.
I don't know. I think that I don't know. I think that there's other options.
Well, you could just remove the functionality of it.
Well,
in terms of you can cancel your dash into a button, which is how the dash cancel happens. If you just remove the cancel, you still have dash. It's just that dash becomes very unsafe.
I don't know if I want that though. That's you're basically playing Street Fighter at that point. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be very Street Fighter-y, but as somebody who's going to zoning and
and we were talking about it earlier, like Guilty Gear has running and Tekken has running, and there's ways they could do it. I'm just not in love with the way that it was in.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of running in MKX. I think it could be balanced by, I don't know, maybe my problem wasn't running so much. Actually, I liked what running did with the meta. I just wasn't a huge fan of what running did with combos. It made combos feel very kind of maybe not even combos, but like linking combos to 50-50s and linking 50-50s to combos and just kind of extending your gameplay, because once guys got their execution down, it was fucking extraordinary. And with run cancels and stuff like that, that's the thing I wasn't a huge fan of. I liked what it did for the meta. If it was up to me, if I was developing the game, I'd probably keep it in, but I'd make it slower. And I'd make the stages bigger so it had less of an impact, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I really, really missed the... it's the thing I've always said about running an MKX. What I dislike about it is that it made, especially and with the lightness of the characters that came in comparison to Mortal Kombat 9, how every character felt lighter and just in more like hype. Everyone was just ready to go in fucking MKX. And with the running, things felt more frantic and less precise.
Yeah.
So I kind of and I really missed the spacing and the footsies that you kind of had from Mortal Kombat 9 some more. I wouldn't mind if it got... I'm not saying I would like it as slow as Mortal Kombat 9 or characters to feel quite as heavy as they were in Mortal Kombat 9. I mean, no, we can speed things up a little bit, but I don't want that speed like that's across the board. Everyone has it, and everyone just feels lighter, and everyone has all these this new mobility, this new lease on life as far as mobility, to where, like I said, you lose that feeling of precision, because I really like that feeling of precision.
Some characters just shouldn't be able to fucking run. Like Shao Kahn does not. Shao Kahn menacingly stomps towards you. He does not run. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, no, I can see it. It's one of those things where it's like, it's fucking weird to see Jason run.
Yeah. He doesn't even run. He kind of lollops. It's
and that's what they would do with Shao Kahn. They would give him some kind of weird animation.
Yeah, that's true. Is Temp still here?
No, I'm right here. Yeah.
How are you doing, Temp?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I mean, with Shinnok, it's easier, because Shinnok had a float when he did his run.
Yeah,
Shinnok looked good when he runs.
Yeah.
And it looked good. Khan's harder, because there's really not a lot you can go to other than big man running. That's pretty much the only go-to with Shao Kahn. Unless he just wants to shoulder every time he does a run input, he's just shouldering.
Oh god, that would be hype as fuck.
That would be tight, yeah.
That would be hype as fuck.
That's what they should do with if they have to bring that shit back. It's like, listen, guys, be more Shinnok and less Jason with your approach to running animations.
Yeah, they should do it like every character has a unique throw. Every character.
Yeah, if Shao Kahn's gonna run at you, don't make him like actually have to like run at you. He's fucking this crazy powerful whatever. Make him. It's more like a Superman thing. Like he just fucking moves quickly and he's fucking there in your fucking face all of a sudden. It's scary as hell.
Like Johnny Cage can move so fast when he kicks. He like leaves shadows himself behind him. That was your. Yeah. So why does he run towards me at a light jog if you can move that quickly?
And hopefully, they've heard these complaints too. There's no way they haven't heard the people talking shit about Jason running, because that's fucking weird.
Well, I mean, the only
they're gonna bring running back. Yeah, I hope that's better.
But the only other horror icon they can bring back is Michael Myers. Michael Myers barely fucking walks.
Oh my god, dude! You've seen the leaks, quote leaks. Roster. There's other horror people they can bring back.
I refuse to believe Pennywise is in this game. How the fuck do you put Pennywise in a fight?
It's not how they can. I mean, They would. Put it that way.
They probably would, but that's gonna suck dick.
I mean, I can't help
Doom
that.
Guy,
but I mean,
I'm down for Doom Guy. I'm down for Doom Guy. Doom Guy and Spawn, I would be okay with.
I keep saying it, but I also kind of want it for. I keep thinking about ideas for our Eyeballistics game. I keep thinking about guest characters because they're so hype. Every fighting game has to have them, and I've been thinking about them. And the company that we're working with has mentioned it a time or two. It's fucking hilarious when they do, but whatever. I keep thinking about it. I'd really like to bring like something funny, but also maybe a little bit. I don't know. I was trying to think outside the button. I thought of bringing in Tyler Durden as a guest character.
Nice.
That's actually not a bad pick for Mortal Kombat, even.
It wouldn't, and that's why I thought about it, because I thought about Mortal Kombat at first. It's like, dude, he's from Fight Club. It's pretty Mortal Kombat already, and I'm thinking about him fucking beating in fucking Jared Leto's face, and it's like, dude, like, this isn't that far from Mortal Kombat. Like, this could work.
Well, I mean, we could bring in like 40k characters into Mortal Kombat. I'd be down with that. And I know Chrome would be too. We could get Angron in this shit. Get Angron, Perturabo, we get Mortarion. We can make this badass.
All these fat characters on screen. Oh, God.
Angron's pretty fat, yeah. Angron's kind of fat.
They're all wide as hell, dude. They all got stretched out horizontally.
The Primarchs are like 15 foot tall. They're going to be pretty wide, dude.
Uh-oh, Chromatos is typing. He's heard us. Listen, I'm sorry. I take back what I said. No, Tyler Durden, I don't take back. Tyler Durden would be sick. He'd beat your fucking face in. That'd be sick. He could shoot his whole head. He could shoot himself in the head, dude.
No, we couldn't have Chrome. We couldn't have Magnus. That would be OP as fuck.
Oh, God.
That would be OP as fuck. Although Magnus did everything wrong, so we can't have him. But anyway.
Tyler Durden, though, in my brain, is just an example of, like, listen, stop thinking about horror, you retards. There's other places you can go for cool guest characters.
Yeah, but equally, I don't want them to end up like KI, where they had just seemingly fucking random guest characters like Rash from Battletoads.
No, and that makes sense. That was more of like, here, choose from the selection of
Microsoft's back catalog.
Yeah. That's what that was. A lot of it.
I was actually okay with Rash. If it had been just Rash, it would have been fine. But it was General Rom where I was like, okay, this is fucking ridiculous. No one asked for this.
Yeah, Season 3 of KI is one of the biggest disappointments in fighting game history, and people sleep on that. Like, Season 2 was so good, and then Season 3 was just like, what's this?
Well, I like Kim Woo. I think Kim Woo's great, but...
I like Kim Woo's theme, but everything else about her is boring as shit.
Oh, I love her. She's like a Street Fighter 4 character. I thought she was so fun. Well, here's a question. Who are your top three? What characters are you cheering for hard? Who are you hoping shows up in that demo in March?
Guest characters or
the demo characters? Good characters.
Can I just say, if I go to that demo in January in the reveal and there's guest characters on the reveal roster, I'm walking out of the fucking building and into the river.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Be honest. Come on, man. Mickey Rourke? Damn, that'd be tight.
Just Mickey Rourke is like the character.
I wouldn't mind it. I thought about it a bunch. Just get fucking bring in just Arnold Schwarzenegger as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Bring in The Rock as The Rock. Come on, just do it.
Steve Buscemi as Steve Buscemi.
I'm in. I'd play that character.
Yeah, I'd play that character. Really.
Come on, man.
Well, who are your three? What are the three you're really rooting for?
Well, you see, it gets back to the point I was making earlier in terms of hope versus expectation. I mean, I hope, but for me, it's almost crossed in that, like, there's a very real chance in this game that I could main Shang Tsung and as a zoner, and then have Shao Kahn as like an upfront close pocket bruiser, which is essentially a dream for me. They're my two favorite characters. So there's a very real chance that could happen. And I want them in, but because Shang Tsung would be hype. But because I would be so surprised if Shang isn't in this game, I'm almost like taking him for granted, which is a dangerous thing to do with him. But like, if you were to offer me the option to say you can lock down Shang Tsung, or you can lock down Fujin or Havoc or Ashra, I'd take the latter, because we're probably going to get Shang. Like, you'd be very surprised if they didn't get Shang in this game. but they could very easily leave out. Like, there's no guarantees on the 3D roster. So the 3 characters who I would pray to the gods for, and like say if Ed came up to me and said, pick 3 characters who will definitely be in the game, go. I would probably say, and I've no expectation of any of these characters, would probably be Cobra, Drauman, and Ashra, because I think you can go in such great places with those characters. In terms of 3 characters, I think we will get who I really, really want. I think that's fairly straightforward. It's Smoke, Noob, and Shang Tsung. So it's a kind of.
I think all 3 of them are in, but I mean, obviously I've been wrong 1,000 times on this show, but I really think all 3 of them are in.
Yeah, I mean, the roster on this game is going to be interesting. Like, realistically, I think this is a great chance for, say, the likes of Knight. Like Temp, you should really enjoy the roster of this game because there's a movement for Lee May. Smoke is in. I think Sindel has a great chance. I think Nightwolf has a great chance.
Stop saying Smoke is in. Stop that.
Smoke is in. Like, if Smoke is, I would be flabbergasted if Smoke is not in this game.
Yeah, I would be too, but I've been flabbergasted many times.
It's, I mean, they could ignore his fan base during the Deception era, and they could almost ignore it for MKX, but they can't ignore it anymore. Smoke is
the strange thing for me about ignoring Smoke's fan base is, with a little bit of careful nurturing, like Smoke, he wouldn't be Reptile, he wouldn't be Raiden, Scorpion, Sub-Zero tier, but he would be like the next best thing. Like, Smoke is such a cool character, and there's so many places you could go with him to make him so interesting, and they just seem to have no interest in doing so. Like, I mean, you remember how Smoke was revealed for MK9? Like, there was a genuine feeling of, are they going to do Smoke for this game? Like, it was Smoke, Shiva, and Striker. Are they going to bother? And it's fucking Smoke. You know what I mean? It's fucking Smoke.
I think that weird ass picture reveal. You saw him on the roster with the hair.
Yeah, it was the King of the Hill thing, and then we saw him with the stupid Christopher Walken hair.
And thankfully, it didn't look that bad once we saw it in game. I mean, it still had big problems, but that Slash prediction did not do it justice. That looked so bad. It looked like he had like a fucking cocaine afro.
It looked like he had a bouffant, I think it's called, that they wear in the 18th century. I don't even like it in game. In game, I would always use Smoke's his second outfit in MKD, in MK9, where you had the hood on, which is the one they used for an Enra Smoke. I think that's fucking badass. But
the one from the comic, though, I would love just the long white hair. That would be sick. That's one anime long white hair for Smoke.
I'm not a huge fan of long flowing hair in my character. So Temp loves the flowing hair.
Well, to me, it's more of like a metalcore as he lay dying kind of haircut. If it's done right, it just wasn't done right in MK9. But like, this is what it's supposed to look like. This is how the hair should look right here.
See, I don't have a huge amount of objection to that.
Hot.
As I lay dying hairstyle, because I have a heterosexual. I listen to Slayer. I don't listen to metalcore. But
man, that mask is tight too. I forgot about
that mask is tight. Yeah, that mask is tight.
It's an anime thing for me more than anything. I like the anime aesthetic getting some representation. I like the shonen vibe or the
Bishonen vibe. Yeah.
Yes, that is really important to me.
I like the kind of subtle nods to anime, like in Liu Kang's Fatality, his second one in MKX.
Oh god!
When they do the kind of hiya thing, I thought that was cool. But I would be honestly shocked beyond belief if Smoke wasn't in this game. Like, the likes of Smoke and Noob and Jade, those 3 characters I consider guaranteed for this game.
Noob and Jade, no question.
Man.
Yeah, Noob and Jade for me, no question.
No, you just post pictures like this, and I'm like, man, I really want this character in there too. And he's not going to be in there, and I'm going to be bummed. I had a pocket Smoke in Mortal Kombat 9, and online Smoke, he sucked. But
you have to travel a pretty far distance to find someone who doesn't like Smoke. Like, he's just...
Yeah, I honestly think Smoke is... like, I think if you were to take a survey, Smoke would actually be among, like, hardcore, dedicated fans, call it what you will. I actually think Smoke would be second only to Sub-Zero, as, like, everybody likes this character.
Agreed.
Whereas people think Scorpion is the most popular character in Mortal Kombat. I don't think it's top 3. I would have said the most popular characters in Mortal Kombat in terms of everybody likes them are Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Smoke, and Noob.
if people who are voting are people who don't play the game, then Scorpion's going to win every time. If the voting base is like everyone from like someone's dad who played the game in 1994 versus like some kid who got it for Christmas, Scorpion's going to... He's a ghost with a spear. Of course he's going to win. But for people who know what the fuck they're talking about, yes, Sub-Zero and Smoke are way up.
I mean, I don't think that... I think there's a decent chunk of that casual audience, too, that's like, man, but I saw a Noob Saibot once, and that dude is tight as hell. And he is.
Like, that's the thing. Noob and Smoke are very flashy characters.
They are.
That's my worry. Cool. That should be the one thing that scares you about Smoke, is because Smoke, I think more than Jade or Noob Saibot, he has the greatest DLC potential of any classic and that.
I disagree. I disagree entirely. I would say and this is something Razor said, but without wishing to take credit away from Razor, I've been saying this since MKX. If you want DLC to sell, your DLC should be so if we're taking, say, the leaks are correct and we're getting 4 MK characters and 2 guest characters, your MK characters should be Melina, Baraka, Ermac, and Johnny Cage. That would sell gangbusters.
Interesting. Melina, I agree with. I don't know about Johnny Cage.
I wouldn't buy it, but it would sell very
well. You would. Don't you lie to me? You would buy that.
I don't play any 4 of those characters. I would not buy it. But a lot of people would. I'm sorry, dude.
I would buy them. Yeah, I mean, obviously I want to buy Johnny. MK9 Johnny is my favorite gameplay design of all time. But Baraka, I miss from a gameplay perspective. I don't really care about the character. That goes double for the design. But I think that gameplay style is important. I think it needs to come back.
Well, see, I appreciate Baraka because he gives the whole thing a monster feel. And that was missing so much from MKX, the feel of the kind of freaks and geeks monsters feel. That's what makes MK2 so special is, remember the first time you played MK2 and it's like, there's a fucking lizard dude and there's a guy there's like Wolverine on crack and there's this chick with fans and she seems okay, but her sister has these weird knives and fucked up mouth. And then there's this tiger guy with 4 arms. And MK should have that kind of alien.
My mind went straight to Sagat. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense when you say there's a tiger guy, and I just pictured Sagat.
Man.
But
no. Listen, I was that kid too. I was like, whoa, what the fuck is going on with Baraka? And I played him. I also played Baraka. I mean, Belanca whenever I was very little too. For pretty much the same reason. It's like, man, if he was playing a crazy ass green fucking dude and whatever, man, Ono would be happy. But after a few years, actually in Mortal Kombat, it wasn't long at all before I was like, yeah, but Sub-Zero though. And but I think it's been that ever since. But no, I want Baraka in. That's hard to say. I think I want Baraka in Mortal Kombat 11. I don't want him in Mortal Kombat 11, but I wouldn't play him personally.
I don't necessarily want Baraka. I want a Tarkatan. Okay. I don't want and I made this point in an op-ed in 2IM that I'll probably repost over the weekend. So go read that op-ed when I post it.
I will.
About why we should not want always want our favorite characters to come back. Reptile would be like a top 5 character for me. I really don't want to see Reptile in this game. If I do, I want to see him as DLC. I want to see Reptile's kid. I want to see from a different timeline opened.
Who would he fuck?
Reptile.
There's so many questions.
No, I want to see a different timeline opened where Reptile said, "Yeah, okay, I'll go fuck Chameleon," and he goes and fucks Chameleon, and they have kids, and this is the new king of the Saurons, and I want fucking progression. I don't want Reptile and Baraka to be the same every game.
I main Takeda. Yeah. I'm right there with you. What was I saying? Oh, but you can't put a new Tarkatan as DLC because we're not a Japanese fighting game. They can do that in other fighting games somehow. But yeah, if it's over here, it's going to be DLC. It's going to be Baraka.
Yeah, if it's DLC, and if it's DLC, it should be Baraka. Because I disagree with new characters by DLC. I think that's and in a game as lore heavy as Mortal Kombat, you can't do that. Because it was bad enough having new characters with basically nothing to do, like Kotal Ferritor and Eren and Jackie. That was a tough enough sell. Having them with absolutely no story connection, I think, be a death knell.
It would be two things to say to both points. The problem with a reptile's son or anyone's son or nephew or dog is that when you bring them into the game, you create this predicament for the sequel.
Reptile's dog, please.
That would be tight.
It's Baraka. That's what
I'd secondary that character. It just, you're going to divide the fan base, and then when the sequel comes around, you're going to hurt both characters' chances, and every sequel from there forward is going to turn into this painful coin flip, or even worse, throwing it buried for 10 years like Frost. It's not like they rotated Frost and Sub-Zero. No, Frost showed up, died. We still to this day have not seen her ever come back, and that's a great way to fuck over, Reptile's dog. I don't think anyone wins when you do stuff like that. At least
you were talking about...
Okay.
What you're talking about is the fucking... what do I call her? Thora the Explorer problem. Lady Thor, Jane Foster Thor. You like when you do that, it's like, no, people are always going to want Thor, and you're either going to get, you are going to get one or the other. You're not going to get both. You could get both if the developer was like really ambitious and weird, but you're not. Like, it's always going to be a fucking thing. Whenever you had like X-23 put on the Wolverine suit and be Wolverine for a while. That's not how you do things. It's not going to stick. It already doesn't stick because he's back. So, like, it's a thing. It's not how you do things. But a better example is to do stuff like Takeda, who's not Kenshi, and he's not Scorpion, and he's not another version. Frost is another fucking Sub-Zero, and I don't care what people say. They can make her not a Sub-Zero. But as it is, she's kind of a Thora the Explorer for Sub-Zero. Go for it.
But equally, I mean, when we say we'd split the fan base because we'd introduce a character kind of fill that role, Tekken has two guys in Jaguar masks, and King and Armor King are both basically in every Tekken game and both have fan bases. So why can't we have Reptile and Reptile's kid? And moreover, if we're having MK11 as like the fracturing of timelines and Crisis on Infinite Realms, this is the game where we can do that, and then we can resolve, because I'm pretty confident that MK11 is going to resolve us back at like MK1. We're going to start again. This is going to be their reboot, and this time we'll do it right, we promise. I want to see all the myriad fucked up weird multiverses they can throw at us. I want to see what happened if Smoke and Jade met in the Living Forest and had a kid. I want to see what happens if Reptile married Chameleon, killed Shao Kahn, and became Emperor of Earth. I want to see all this weird fucked up stuff.
If you're lucky, we're going to get one or two of that. I would like to see it. But boy, like I said, if we're lucky, there's going to be some weird fucked up shit from some weird timeline that we're going to see. And that's going to be the fucking internet. Man, if Cyborg was here, you would be banned right now. But you know what? It's not. It's a billion fucking in the morning. No. I want to see that. I want to see some weird babies, but I don't want to see like those are kind of clickbait characters too.
That's
I don't think that they would
to.
stick around as well. I don't think you're right about resetting at Mortal Kombat 1 after this. I think after this
I'm not. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I hope I'm not, but I think that's where they're.
I think after this, they will do a mergy thing, but then they're going to move forward kind of fresh but forward is my philosophy. Okay, we're all kind of merged now. We have this new footing. It's not Armageddon. It's not our fucking destiny. What is our new destiny from here? I don't know. We'll see. But, and we'll have some of the old, some of the new all mixed in.
I would say though, what's up?
No, yeah, go ahead.
Let's start with Armor King. I feel like that example doesn't tell the whole story because, first of all, he's the exception, not the rule. There's Forest Law. There's
that's true.
Christie. Oh my God, Kunimitsu got cock-blocked by Raven for how many years?
That's true.
So, but the other reason is there was a lot of things that had to happen for that to even occur. One, they had to set up the Marduk rivalry, which I think is really interesting, and that's I think Marduk coming to Tekken 7 helped Armor King, and maybe vice versa. I don't think they ever wanted to. I don't think they'll ever want to separate those characters. But the other reason I don't know if I'm behind that analogy is because he didn't make it. He didn't make it initially. It took him. God, when was Tekken 7 revealed? 2015. He just now showed up, so I don't know. I don't want that to be Reptile's dog or like fucking Baraka's roommate. I don't want. If they end up being good characters, I don't want them to go down the Frost path. That would just make me so sad.
See, I never liked Frost, so maybe I'm talking to my ass.
She grew on me. I used to not like her, but I warmed up to her over the years. I
could never dig her. She always struck me as incredibly boring.
She's got potential, but
she's one of the better parts of the comics, to be honest with you. I like the Frost.
I enjoy the comics. MMA Frost would be fun, or cage fighting Frost. That'd be fun too. Like do something like that with her. Don't make her just what they have been done with her. But most importantly, like don't make her a Lady Sub-Zero. And if they do, listen, guys, Premier Skins. Don't be surprised if we get
I think that would be the way to go. Like
MK11.
I expect Frost to be in, and I expect it to be a pretty prominent part of the story. But if it was up to me, Frost would be a premier skin for Sub-Zero, and like I would use that spot to guarantee Serena or Lee May, who I find much more interesting as characters.
And I mean, there's a lot of Frost fans out there to be mad, but I don't know. There might be a lot of Frost fans that wouldn't be so mad just because you get to see them, like you know, how like you got to see Black Lightning, I guess, in Injustice 2 and stuff like that. There were a lot of premier skins in Injustice 2, and they were handled pretty well.
I thought they were handled pretty well, except for Mr. Freeze, which was like, his gimmick is he wears a helmet and he fucking...
They finally gave it to him, though, dude, and people bullied him.
It looked so bad. It was like Mars Attacks. It looked so fucking shitty.
I didn't even see that. I'm going to have to get up now.
What they patched it in, dude. They fixed it. You bully them into it, and NetherRealm will get back to you. It might take a year. Probably will take 1 year exactly, but they'll get back to you.
Oh my god, that looks fucking awful.
You know,
that reminds me too. Because I said I had 2 points. I forgot the first one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said the second first for some reason. My first point was that the reason why I would put Smoke over Melina, Johnny Cage, and Baraka were those. I feel like there's a fourth one I'm leaving out.
Yeah, Johnny Cage, Baraka. There probably was.
I don't know.
I feel like above those characters, Smoke would use the Unreal 4 engine better. And I feel like for a visual display, I think Smoke would still be the candidate. Because I think the number one reason Smoke should be in the game is they know this character is going to look so sick on next gen. He is going to look fantastic. He is going to fucking kill the YouTubers. So I think that's one reason why Smoke is a lock. And that's kind of why I'm scared he's going to be DLC. But I'm sorry, continue.
Well, what I was going to say, to go back like 25 minutes, like I think, say, Smoke, Noob, Jade are a lock, but where I'm concerned about, say, returning characters are not necessarily Sindel, because I don't like Sindel, but Nightwolf and Striker and Sector. You know, I really want, particularly Striker. I mean, it's kind of like he more than almost any other character, I think, was damaged by sitting out MKX, because MK9 was such a good rehabilitation of Striker. Striker was a joke character, and then MK9 came, kind of started liking Striker, and they really could have gone somewhere with him, but they didn't. And I think if Striker isn't in MK11, like I think he then gets relegated to, say, Shiva tier. You know, he gets put into that kind of tier of you will see them when it's time for a trilogy game and never anywhere else. And I really don't want that to happen.
I don't want that to happen either.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen to Shiva. I mean, my objection to Shiva is like I've always thought she was a really boring character and a really boring character design, but it shouldn't happen to any character. You know?
They fucked Shiva too, because Shiva's whole gimmick was she was the only playable Shokan. And once Girl became playable in MK4, it was fucking game over for Shiva forever.
Her whole gimmick was also she was basically naked, so it was kind of a gimmick too.
Well, I mean, Goro's pretty naked too.
Yeah, but Goro's got the important bits covered. She's barely got the important bits covered.
And I think I've said it before. I'm going to keep saying it. I don't care. I love Goro a lot. And
how are we doing the reels, bro?
The reels are turning. Boy, I've got a fucking eye on that shit, dude.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
I fucked up last time hard. I don't want that shit happening again. I like Goro a lot, and I wish that he was like a Kung Lao and a Liu Kang and a Sub-Zero and a Raiden. I wish that he was that on base roster, playable. because he is fucking champion of combat. God damn it! Like, come on, like who's more appropriate than Goro? Goro's fucking sick. Goro's the fucking best. I mean, he was the best for a long time. Oh wait, Evan, who was your 3 characters?
The 3 characters who I want and kind of expect
who you would love to see and you want to play. Like, you know, put some fantasy. Come on, like who do you want to see playable at that demo you're going to?
At the demo I'm going to, I would really like to see Shang. I would probably say Shang, Smoke, and if I can be fantasy, I'm going to say Nightwolf.
Nightwolf, that's a good
Nightwolf is, and notice I'm pronouncing the L in wolf.
Well done.
Like wolf.
I'm proud of you. Some people can't do it.
Some people can't. Some people can't speak the English language.
It's hard.
But Nightwolf isn't my favorite character. But the thing about Nightwolf is he brings a very unique feel to every game he's in because he's such a unique character design in Mortal Kombat. And he's got that kind of Native American shaman thing going on. And every time he's in the game, he stands out so much. He never blends into the background. He never feels like, oh, back. And it's almost as though you could say, yeah, because they saved him for special occasions. But it's not really. He was in 2 trilogy games.
No, he needs to be.
Yeah, he should be in so many more games.
I don't know about that because he showed up in Deception when a lot of other people didn't. So that was kind of a crowning moment in my opinion.
But I think
it was. But I just want him. I want him more. I want him more. Yeah, I want that fucking Native American representation too, man. Come on.
He definitely has a flavor to the select screen for sure that I really miss.
And he's got some like design fucking potential too. They can have a lot of fun with. Like I liked Thunder a lot in KI3.
Yeah, Thunder is what I always gravitate towards. Being that Thunder feels so intimidating to play. Like I would love to see Nightwolf back because if Nightwolf is in the reveal screen, or if we get a reveal of Nightwolf, it will be an acknowledgement that they're acknowledging the MK3 guys. Because I think, with the exception of Ermac, and I'm gonna differentiate between. We always say we'll get the cyborgs back. I think we can say we'll always get Cyrax back. Like, Sector will always be in the story. Will he always be playable? Because I think when a lot of times people say, I want a robot, I want one of the cyborgs, for whatever reason, they tend to gravitate towards Cyrax, presumably because he's been in more games. But Sector still never got that chance. He still never got the chance to be the guy, the soul. And I agree with Cyborg when he says that should have been MKX. That was Sector's game. He absolutely should have been in that game. And it's like, I know Razor essentially counts Triborg as Sector, and that's, presuming Triborg doesn't come back, which he absolutely shouldn't. That should be a non-canon fucking thing. That would be my headcanon, that is Sector absorbing the protocols of the other cyborgs. But like the MK3, and this is something Tempest said, when people talk about the trilogy roster, they really mean the MK2 roster. Because the MK3 roster kind of gets left out a lot. The likes of Cabal, the likes of Sindel, Shiva, Nightwolf, Striker, they don't come back. And they really should. And that's, I think, more than anything else, what I want for MK11. I want MK11 to be as to MKX as Deception was to Deadly Alliance. I want to see characters.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Because that's what we need.
It is. Like, Sindel is honestly like a bottom 10 character for me. I feel about Sindel as Django feels Sonya. I really don't like Sindel.
We both don't like Sonya around here.
I would actually, I don't know. I
want Sindel back. I think, and I know Temp loves her, but I want Sindel back. She would lend the whole game such a different feel. I want that otherworldly feel, and I think.
Oh, I think we're losing you, dude. Can you hear us?
Oh, am I coming in and out?
We just lost you for a second there.
Okay, yeah, you're back. Are you?
But I mean, I agree with everything I heard up till we lost you. Yes, and Dell would add just a really nice, refreshing presence to the game. And God, there's so many ideas in MK9 that never got developed, but they should have in later games for sure. No, I think we're losing you again.
Am I gone?
You were gone, I think, for a second. I'm going to stop talking and see how this goes.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Yes, now we can.
Are we good?
Yes.
Can you hear us?
We're good. Are we good?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
Okay. Yes. You seem to be back now. I'm hearing Tim fine. So, yeah, it must be. I'm assuming it's something with the other thing. But no, I think we're good. And we both lost you for a minute. So
okay, that's probably a fuck up on my end. Then sorry.
But you seem. I think you're back. Are you back?
I think I'm back. I can hear you guys again. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was just ranting about how.
And you don't have to sell Sindel too hard to get Timp in there with you.
No, I know Sindel is
fucking
big
flight
character.
cancels. It would be so sad if we never see that again.
So yeah, I mean, when we talk about the three characters, I really like, aside from the selfish aspect of Shang, Smoke, and Noob, it's characters like Sindel, like Nightwolf, like Cabal. Actually, maybe not Cabal because they can't put him in a game without him being an S tier. But it's characters like that who I want to see back in the game.
Well, to me, in my opinion, given how it would be the biggest blow up ever if both Cyrax and Sector are not back, because the way Ketchup and Mustard have become icons of the community, it would be the biggest missed opportunity to not let them play the game the way that God intended them to play the game. So why would you not put those two characters in? It just seems like insanity to me.
Yeah, I think that would be a big PR flub up, and they're really interested in PR these days. I mean, you don't have to look any further than this event that they got planned. They're PRing out their ass right now.
Yeah,
and and because of that, like, I think that people should expect a pretty nicely polished demo come January 17th. I think that obviously they're planning for a lot of eyes to be on this fucking thing. It's not something that like, oh, it's gonna be it's rough, it's working, but it's like, no. This is the first time they're showing it, as opposed to how they usually do, which was like half a year ago, usually in their usual cycles, something like that. I think this is going to be a pretty solid build they're putting out there. And yeah, PR out the ass. They should definitely have those two in there because if for no other reason than Ketchup and Mustard, that's enough.
Well, if I can reverse the question, what you guys want to see come back? I mean, who would be your three characters you desperately want to see come back for them? I'm
glad you asked. I was thinking of that too. Temp, who would you like to see? and that thing show up. Who would just fucking get you hype to see in this playable demo coming up?
Everyone's gonna want me to say Li Mei. And I guess she's like a tertiary choice. Tertiary? Rural? Yes. I don't know. She's definitely one of my top threes, but she's not number one because I don't have a competitive history with her. And quite frankly, like, I just got tired of waiting. I just got sick of the wait. And without knowing what her design's going to look like, without knowing how she's going to play, without knowing what the gameplay meta is going to be, because I was so glad she wasn't an MKX. They would have ruined that character. Without knowing any of those things, just it's hard. I'm exhausted.
She was in MKX. She was in there.
I like the costume. I don't like the model. The face looks all fucked up. So
they did a lot of things in MKX. To be fair, they fucked up a lot of faces.
She looks like a young Lou Diamond Phillips. That's what she looks like to me. And so she's my tertiary choice. I just here's my thing. Like, if she's in, I don't know what I'm getting into. That's not true of Smoke. Smoke is my number one choice. If you ask me who do I want back more than anyone else, God, it has to be Smoke because it wasn't enough. Like, I won tournaments with Smoke, and late in the game, like after Injustice came out, I played tournaments with that character, and I won in grand finals against I don't know if you remember him, but Del Toro from Test Your Might. He came down to
I remember Del Toro. Yeah, fuck.
I fucked him up in grand finals.
Fuck,
you fucked Del Toro.
No, actually, he's a really cool guy. He's a friend of mine. I don't really hang with the scene much anymore, but he's really good too. He played Katana and Sonya. But and to be fair, he'll say, "Hey, I beat all the San Antonio guys in tournament. Daniel, you beat my fucking day 3 Ermac in tournament, who I was testing him out. I'm not making that mistake ever again."
Don't fucking test out characters in tournament. What are you doing? Don't.
Yeah, I know. I learned the hard way. But
what a scrub.
MKX was on the way out, we weren't thinking that way, and Killer Instinct was kind of the big shit still. But anyway, so Smoke is obviously the character I want to see more than anyone else. The third character, the temptation is to pick Sindel since she was my secondary, or pick Nightwolf since I'm just in love with that gameplay design. And his costumes are great. Just like in MK9, his all costume, he had Doge on his head and looked fucking sick. I just don't know, like... if we're talking who deserves it, there's only one choice in my opinion, and that is Serena. She's the only. She has to be in the game. It would be the biggest injustice if she won.
An injustice, you say?
Oh yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, I was just checking. Can you talk a little bit more about your 3, just to kill a little more time so I can get mine together? I'm trying listen, I'm taking this very seriously. It's a good question.
I mean, well, yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, I could presumably guess that Django's 3 will be Takeda, Sub-Zero, and probably Goro.
Don't, no. What are you doing? Get out of here. You don't know what's going on. You don't know me. Keep talking. You'll find out.
Well, I mean, let's say... I mean, to go back to that point, you say you don't want Lee May because you don't have that tournament legacy, and I do agree that character does look up. But, like, are you kind of... I don't know who the fuck Lou Diamond Phillips is, but yeah, that looks like...
He was in Young Guns, but he was also... he played Ricky Bobby in La Bamba.
He looks like a Native American.
I mean, maybe. He's actually from my hometown, believe it or not.
Well, that doesn't rule him out. He could be Hispanic, too. Fine line.
But anywho, you were asking about Lee May? What's up?
I was just going to say, like, are you defined as I'm a footsies guy, so I play footsies characters? Like, Smoke is a footsies character. So if as, like, insane rushdown or zoning, would that put her outside of your remit? Would it be like, yeah, I love Lee May, but I can't play the character? It's like, for me, I love Goro, but I couldn't name the character. I tried.
Yeah.
No, go on.
I was going to say, only if she's boring. If she's boring, then yes, it's going to be Shinnok MKX all over again. But not if she plays a non-footsie style. I think I can make it work, because Glacius was a zoner, and I played a rushdown Glacius. I would say Ibuki in Street Fighter V. She is very much a mix-up character with aerial range moves, and I still play a footsie style with her. I do the mix-ups, obviously. I don't want to lose, but I do play a very strong footsie game with her. At least strong by my standards, by what I'm capable of. So no, I'm not so worried about that. I feel like, I mean, Nightwolf is like an anti-footsie character more than a footsie character. But you can, I mean, MK9, you can play footsies with anyone because the mobility was so good.
Well, yeah, that's the crux of MK9. Everybody is a footsie, except Noob.
Except Noob. No, and Shiva, of course, isn't in that realm.
Shiva's a nothing character. Shiva is an online character who can that safe. That's Shiva's gimmick.
Yeah, her style is rage quit. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, basically.
I just feel like even if I can't make it work, I'm going to have so much fun trying. If I love the character and if the character is interesting, I'm definitely in there. I'm all over that. And yeah.
So is your fear of Lee May coming back then, that like she wasn't like a number pick, that because of the emotional attachment you have with Smoke, maybe there isn't room for that attachment with Lee May?
I think there's definitely room, but if Smoke is good and Lee May is just as good, it's going to be hard not to default to Smoke, because it's not just the tournament stuff either. Like, I love both the characters for the same reason. They're both very tragic. What gives Smoke the one-up over Lee May is that theme of friendship, that very anime relationship he's got with Sub-Zero, and that very anime victimization he has with Noob Saibot. That stuff just, really pierces me through the heart. I hate to see ninjas get corrupted by other ninjas, and I hate to see ninjas lose their ninja friends. So it's just, Lee May is a victim, but her only two strong ties are Bo Raicho, which was done well, but just it never got developed properly. And then obviously the Dragon King, and I don't want to see that relationship go anywhere. So that's kind of that's the tough part with Lee May. She needs a viable network of character relationships to really be interesting from a story perspective. And
I think that's Lee May's problem, in that MK is full of so many characters who you just need to put their characters and they become interesting, or they make those characters interesting. So say, like, and the comic is a great example. You put Havoc and Scorpion in the same room, interesting shit happens. Lee May is just, I like Lee May to a degree, but I can't feel slightly bland.
Yeah, I think that was an early problem with her. I think a lot of people just thought the character didn't have enough substance, and she unfortunately, and really fortunately, got the reputation of being a bombshell, which I hope they don't completely drop. Like, I don't dislike MKX's aesthetics on the females. As a matter of fact, I think it is an improvement over MK9. But Lee May's, what made the character cool is she kind of looked like a Marvel character from like the early 90s, and I like that a lot. I think that's really sick. She has like an Elektra vibe that I think really fits the character.
Yeah, that better than it fits Elektra. She was very Elektra.
And I like that. I think that's sick.
Dead or Alive character.
Well, I'm going to get a lot of Dead or Alive characters in 2 months, so that's exciting. But not that far. Like, I don't want her to have jiggle physics, but I do. I mean, sexy is cool, so I don't want to completely conservativize the character. I want to kind of I still want to keep that charismatic sex appeal that she had before. Like again, like Psylocke or like or Early Storm, stuff like that. I don't want to get rid of that too early.
And so, Temp, if I could expand... Go on, Jacob.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if I could kind of expand on that. Let's say Smoke is in the game, but he's entirely boring. Or he just can't get along with his style. How willing would you be to find another main?
Extremely willing. Unbelievably. So if it makes Smoke boring, okay. I'm fucking out of there. No matter
so you're not coming into this as a character loyalist kind of thing?
Like, even if he jumps in front of Trunks to save him from Perfect Cell, then I still won't. If he's boring, I'm still not going to play the character like that. I don't care how anime they make him. He has to be fun. And he has to be. Yeah.
I come into every game as essentially a man without a country. In that, like, I was a fan of Noob, but not a huge fan until I started maining him. And when I picked up Injustice 2, it was with the intent of maining Green Lantern, and then I ended up maining Supes. When I picked up Injustice 1, it was the intent of maining Zod, and I ended up maining Grundy. So I have no kind of loyalty from game to game, but you kind of do. So I was just curious if
absolutely
there's any degree of kind of, well, this character sucks, but he's my character. He's boring, but he's my character, so I have to play him.
There are instances of that. Like, I think Rose in Street Fighter 4 is a big instance of that. If that character was in the game, it'd be very difficult to not play her, just because I have all that history with her. But this isn't even really hypothetical. This happened. They put Smoke in the form of Triborg in MKX, and I still like this character. But let's say it was Meat Smoke. Let's say it wasn't Triborg. I would have still dropped his ass. So, like, this is the most boring vortexy bullshit. They took out everything. They gutted my character. So if we could do, like, a swap and make Triborg Human Smoke instead with all that shit, I would have been so pissed, and I would have fucking pitched characters so quickly. I hate Smoke. The only thing I like about that character is the command grab animation. And in his fucking teleport combo chain, okay, that's kind of sick. Fuck everything else. I'd be out of there so quickly.
Because, I mean, I'm coming into this game, as I say, hoping to main a zoning Shang, because I've accepted I'm a zoner at heart. Main a zoning Shang and keep like a bruiser close range backup Shao Kahn. But if that doesn't work out, I'm more than willing to cut bait and go elsewhere. I've no loyalty. Whereas Django has loyalty towards Sub-Zero, he always does, and Akita and Robin. And
he's not wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. Like, I know who, because presumably this will be the first Mortal Kombat with like transatlantic code, so I can actually play you guys.
Ooh, isn't that exciting? Yeah. It's the first Mortal Kombat launch with playable netcode.
Can we not play MKX? Is that a thing? Is that possible?
MKX is region locked.
I fucking forgot about that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Isn't that fucked up?
And I bought an American MKX on the American PSN store for the purpose of playing along with the Nethercast, and then I played a game. I was Goro, and I can't remember who the other guy was. I was on the Hell Stage first day MKX was released, and I was like, this is fucking unplayable. So in Europe, and I was like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, this will be the first play across the Atlantic. And I know Django will be representing Sub-Zero and Takeda.
You don't know anything. Let me give my list. Okay, my list for who I would get fucking super hype over 9,000 to see in the fucking Mortal Kombat 11 reveal day demo. Obviously, number one spot is Robin. Robin would be hella sick. It's not Robin. I mean that would be tight, but it's not. He's not on my list. This was a tough list, obviously, but I think what it came down to was it's tough because I have like a tie for who I would most want, and I have a tie for the bottom two as well. So that's okay.
Well, can I guess?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, number one is Sonya.
Yes, you got it, man. How'd you know? I didn't know I had screen share on. God.
Yeah, so it's Sonya, Jackie, and I don't know, Dagon.
Well, there's no need for me to go through this.
Just that good.
Yep.
Just
Man, actually, no. There's some other names on here. The first one was like I said, a toss-up. They would both they're both who I want to see the most, bar none. Sub-Zero's in there. I'm not worried about Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero's my boy. But I've got other boys, and I'd like to see them too. I wish Mortal Kombat had some girls that I really have been drawn to, but it doesn't. Some other franchises do, though. Like Hisako. I'm a big Hisako fan. Hisako's tight. Orchid.
Interesting. I forgot about that.
I'm a big Orchid fan.
I love Orchid.
I like For Honor a lot. I like that game. And that game, my main is the Nobushi, and it counts because it's female only. And it has to be female only. I like that fucking about that game. Some of those classes you can change. You can't change some of them, though, because historically you just can't. It doesn't work that way. And Nobushi is one of them. Female only. And she's sick because she's staff tier. Man, she's sick. Okay. Anyway. The top spot for my list is Takeda. I want to see Takeda. I want to see what they could do with that dude pushing him forward. But equally as hype, I would get, obviously, Fujin. Mm-hmm. If Fujin was in that demo, from a PR standpoint, from like an outside standpoint, after all the bullshit that's happened with Fujin, like, fuck. You know what I mean? I remember just going into MKX and being like, oh, Fujin's got to be in the game. He's got to be like a hidden character. He's got to be whatever. And, fuck me. Fuck all of us. He wasn't there. So if he was in this initial reveal day build, damn, that would be a statement. That would be a cool statement. And so Takeda and Fujin are tied for my number one spot. So, and number 3 goes to Reiko. Reiko, I would be super fucking hype to see him. That'd be amazing. I'm worried about Reiko especially after Shao Kahn is on the Reign roster. I don't know. I feel like there could be some shenanigans. I feel like there could be some Premier Skin shenanigans with those two, actually. But maybe throw in like a gear special move or two that are kind of Reiko focused, with like the shurikens or something. But I hope not. I like Reiko. I would love to see Reiko again. Like Reiko done really well. That and again on that reveal day build, that would be crazy sick. That would be a cool statement. And like almost neck and neck with Reiko was also Smoke. Smoke equally the same thing. You guys said it. A really nice statement, I think, coming off of the last game and coming off of just feedback. And I think feedback is a big one with characters like Fujin and Reiko too, for me putting them on there. A really good PR move as far as just listening to feedback and putting those characters in there and showing like day one, just flopping that dick out on the table. I think that would be a smart and good fan service move, PR move in all those respects. So, but yeah, that's my list. Takeda, Fujin, Reiko, honorable mention goes to Smoke.
I really hope you get Takeda.
I really hope you get Fujin. I hope you get Fujin.
I mean, Fujin's definitely up there. But I want to see what version 2 Takeda. I want to see what version 2 Django Takeda looks like. That's really fascinating to me.
I want to see what they do with that character. I think that character has a ton of fucking potential. I think that character has more interesting potential than the other 3 kids. And I don't dislike the other 3 kids, except for Jackie. She's
fuck you.
She is shit. Fuck that character. But the other 2, I'm fine with it.
Dude, am I the only Jackie fan in the entire Nethercast community?
Yes, probably. You're the only one ever.
I can hold that. I'm definitely the only one who isn't also a black woman. I can hold that shit.
I mean, I can't confirm or deny because I don't know. Yeah, sure, it sounds good to me. But I just don't like her. She sucks. And I think Takeda has the most potential. I think interesting potential because of his all his bullshit, his 2 dads, all that shit. Like he's fucking cool character, and I want to see what they do with him. I want to see him push it, and I want to see them push him, and I want to see them. If they do, they better the fuck not back off from his ninja-ness, because he met his dad when he was in his fucking whatever, 18, 19, 20 years old, whatever. Like, I'm really glad Takeda was cool with his dad. He wasn't a bitch about it. He's like, listen, bullshit with your mom, Red Dragon, shit went down. And Takeda was like, oh, well, okay, damn, let's do something about it. Like, I liked that. But Takeda was fucking raised by ninjas. So he's got to keep the ninja. Like, he's a ninja before he's a Kenshi. Before he's the Ronin, before he's a telekinesis dude. He can be, he needs to be a combination of both. He needs to be a hybrid and do his own thing, but the dude's a ninja. Keep the ninja, and I want to see them push it further. And don't make me, have to choose my fucking mask. Keep the fucking mask on him, goddammit.
All right, we got to animate this up, all right? So here's what I want to happen. You got to explore the Kenshi Takeda relationship, obviously. It's too important. And they did. It's out of the way. We got it over with.
Yep.
Now it's time to explore Scorpion Takeda's relationship and really kind of get in there and kind of bring out those dynamics. What needs to happen is Takeda needs to get wrecked. Like, he needs to fucking, get, Killing Joke Batgirled. Fucked up horribly.
Whoa.
And then Scorpion needs to lose his shit. He needs to, fucking bring out all the ninjutsu swords. All the little fucking minions and fucking go crazy pissed on whoever did it. That's what I want to see. I think that'd be unbelievably
I agree. I think that would be tough.
Yeah,
I think with the whole Hulk Scorpion angle they're going with now, which I like. I don't hate it. He's trying to be Hanzo. I like that aspect of his character. But yeah, fucking Takeda getting wrecked and that brings out the Scorpion again, hardcore. Fucking hell. And yeah, I'd be into that.
Yeah, I think heads need to be this needs to be Infinity War in that people need to die, and I think the best way to make the kids interesting is to kill one of them. And because Takeda has the most going for him, I think he is the best candidate to die. I mean, if Takeda dies, you can get pissed off Scorpion, you can get pissed off Kenshi, you can get pissed off Jackie, and you're going to lend character to people. I think Takeda should die. I think Cage should die. What I've wanted to see basically since we knew where they were going with MKX, I've wanted to see Raiden go full evil Raiden, and Cage try and fight Raiden and try and try and overcome him. Well, not quite the Armageddon. Well, yeah, I do want to see the Armageddon intro, but the important thing I really want to see is I want to see Sonya and Cassie try and stop him, and then Johnny turns around and says Johnny Cage is not afraid to die, and then goes and fucking dies. I think that'd be so fucking emotional.
I think it would be good for Cage. Emotionally, I would resonate very strongly with that on Johnny's side.
Yeah.
But after that, I don't know. Pissed off Sonya and Cassie, those are not interesting to me. I don't Cassie's not a better character when she's pissed. Scorpion, I think, is a much better character when he's pissed. At least I like both, honestly, but man, seeing the Hellfire come back after Takeda dies, oh my god, I would be getting lit as fuck watching that.
How can you not be excited to see Sonya pissed off? I mean, Sonya's such a calm...
Sonya doesn't get pissed off. God damn it. She doesn't have emotions.
I mean, can you become pissed off if you're eternally pissed off in the world? I mean, I have reached a new level of pissed off.
It's like fucking like Super Saiyan pissed off. Man, maybe, all right, I could kind of...
Her mix-ups get even fucking
If she gets pissed off, she pulls out 2 guns or something. Boom, that's it. That's pissed off Sonya.
But like, real talk, I am so fucking done with Sonya and Jax and Johnny. Like, I like Johnny. I really like Johnny. I like Jax. I don't mind Sonya, but I need a break from these fucking characters.
They're my insurance policy. You know, if the game's meta ends up being awful, I fall back on those two because they almost always have interesting offensive tools and interesting footsies. Jax has some of the best footsies in MKX, but from a story perspective, you're right. I could do without all of them, but I need... Also, there's that hope that MK9 Johnny will come back. I really miss forward 3 mix-ups, dude. I miss all that footsie pressure and the back 3 anti-air. Man, I miss all that stuff so much. But from a story perspective, I agree. I can do without, really most of the characters, truly. There's really only 10 characters I really want from a lore standpoint.
Unfortunately, it's true. I think killing Takeda would definitely get the best and most interesting story reactions out of people, especially if, like, obviously, I feel like it was assumed, I don't know if we said it, if Raiden killed Takeda.
I was assuming that.
Yeah. Like, just if you want a reason to get to that trailer fight between Scorpion and Raiden, like, that's it. Like, that's all you would need. And it would immediately paint Raiden as if he wasn't already in the evil dickhead Raiden enough. Like, I was like, okay, like, this dude is, like, fuck Onaga, fuck, like, Shao Kahn. This dude is just the worst. He's fucking worst. He's got to fucking go. Another reason to get Fujin the fuck in here.
Exactly. I was about to say that, and that's, that's how... If Raiden goes off the deep end and kills Takeda and kills Cage or whatever, and they don't bring Fujin in, at that stage we know that they legitimately just dislike Fujin. At the end, it's just fucking hates Fujin.
Yeah, at that point you feel it's just NetherRealm. It's not story reasons.
Yeah. But even like the fact that they essentially retold the story of MK4 without Fujin is still fucking strange to me.
Yeah, I agree.
It is weird.
I did not think I'd be wrong on that wager.
But, come on, what the fuck? Why the fuck? Why God?
Well, they trolled us about it too. They made fun of the fact when
yeah, I know.
Cassie's selfie, yeah. And really, like that's... Yeah. I mean, I know they like to poke fun at us and Ed likes the secrets, but that one to me felt not necessarily malicious, but it felt somewhat mean-spirited. Maybe it was just me being paranoid.
No. There was some unnecessary roughness and unnecessary...
Yeah, I would agree. And again, that's another reason why Fujin was on that list. It would be a really nice statement for them about listening to feedback, from player feedback, from fan feedback, from whatnot. And I mean, people were I was surprised. And happy to see it. People were very vocal about Fujin. I really hope that they got the message.
And I was quietly impressed at how vocal people were about Fujin, because I think there's a lot of times in this community where if we want someone in and they're not in, we just kind of shrug our shoulders and get on with it. But it seems like in one game, like for one character for each game, there's somebody that the community gets up in arms about. It was Rain and MK9, and then Martian Manhunter, and then Fujin. We didn't have to do it in Injustice 2, which is, I suppose, a positive step. I suppose you could say Manta, but like, I don't think there was, outside of D4, Manta didn't have a huge...
A lot of people were pissed about Rain and MKX, man.
I could definitely see the Rain situation. The Manta situation, I don't think would have been as bad if they didn't make him a fucking interactable. I think that's why the Manta thing blew up so bad.
Yeah, that was a bit of a teabag in your face, yeah.
It was funny, though, watching Smokeman squirm for like fucking half a year. That was hilarious.
But yeah, the fact that they were going to do Trilogy without Rain is fucking weird when you think about it. Like, I think to Ed, Rain was legitimately a joke character because of the whole Purple Rain thing. Like, I think that's how Ed viewed him, whereas we viewed him as like a legitimate character.
Everybody's a legitimate character to us, apparently.
Everybody. Purple's one of my favorite colors, and he's a ninja. I don't know what what Ed wants from me. I think you're right. I think Ed really didn't want to bring Rain back, but it's just the gun was to his forehead at that point.
Which is kind of strange to me, because if you look at we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but like the characters you associate, well, certainly that I associate most with Ed, would be Scorpion, Reptile, Sonya, Tanya, because they're his family members, and then Rain, because Prince is his favorite artist and Purple Rain's his favorite song. So when I think of Rain, the character, Ed is one of the foremost thoughts in my mind, but it seems like he never took ownership of Rain the way he did of Scorpion.
No, he didn't. It's fucking
fucked strange to me.
But he never really did I don't think he ever really did to Noob either.
No, actually, yeah, that's true. I mean, that is literally the man's name.
Well, back in the Deception days, they were saying, it was Deception days. Like, they can't call him Noob Saibot anymore. Tobias.
Yeah, people said that, but that was bullshit.
Yeah. I love the idea that you own the copyright of your name if it's written backwards. Like that's fucking brilliant.
Or even that it was just like petty bullshit, like whatever, he left, so we're not calling him Saibot anymore. I'm here, he's not, I get to make the call. Like, no, that was chill out. They were just fucking fitting names around places. And Noob Saibot is a mouthful.
Yeah, I prefer Saibot. Like, I'd much prefer if we just called Noob Saibot, because I think it sounds a lot cooler.
Yeah.
I wish they would explain the lore behind that. Like, I wish there was an in-game explanation of how he went from Bihan to Noob Saibot. But I think that's asking a lot, perhaps.
That is asking a lot. I wouldn't hate that. Yeah. That would be nice. I'm still flabbergasted that we finally got Kuai Liang and Bihan, like the names. I'm happy. I'm so happy that we got names for it.
That was a great touch by them.
Agreed.
That should have been in there. So we're not fucking calling them both Sub-Zero.
I think every character who could be named has been given a name. Like, I mean, Reptile has a name, so we know his name isn't fucking Reptile. We know what Scorpion's name was.
Smoke has a name now.
Smoke has a name. Thomas Verbata. Is there any character whose name we don't know?
I mean, without getting into without getting into chameleon territory, not really. Well, yeah, even Reptile's name, yeah. I think
yeah. So to be fair though, I think they've been really good about that, and it's weird in the way MK9 was so good at expanding the lore in some ways, and just so ruthless about shitting on the lore in so many other ways.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I mean, there's a real inconsistency to it, but it's funny because you're right. So they fuck up a lot, but when they do it right, it's brilliant. It's amazing how close to the mark they get when they hit a home run. It's unbelievable. Like
Smoke's backstory, I thought was brilliant. I really enjoyed that.
I agree too.
I never had a great interest in the character, and that gave me a huge interest in Smoke.
Making him from Prague was also brilliant. That was a great way to get diversity in the game while making it still interesting and subtle without it being forced. I thought that was really... Because there isn't a lot of European characters in the game.
It's always kind of pissed me off. Smoke is, I think, the only European character in Mortal Kombat.
They should do something with that. They should use him and talk about it. Here and there.
I know if they were to put an Irish character in, it'd be like the tall ginger dude from the comics who's like Lieutenant Sean Shamrock.
Yeah, you have a green top hat.
Yeah, I know. I'm not fucking down for that. I'm not down for a leprechaun from fucking Chaos Realm. I would like it to be like the Williams sisters in Tekken. Like Anna and Nina are both Irish, but it's just not a big deal.
That's interesting. I didn't know either. Wow, that's news to me.
Yeah, Anna Williams and Nina Williams are both Irish.
God, that's disappointing. I mean, that's cool that they're Irish, but man, it's a shame they didn't go with that acting route.
They don't have Irish accents, which is strange.
Well, Marduk, I think, is Australian, and he's never had an Australian accent. I don't think so. I could be wrong about that, though. He might not be Australian.
Like, if you're Australian, you have to call people cunt with every other sentence, and they probably don't want that in.
Dude, Marduk is fucking awesome. I'm so glad that character's back.
I never got too. Maybe we can transition into Tekken off that, but I never got too into Marduk. I never really. He never clicked for me.
I didn't either. I actually, for a long time, I thought Marduk was boring. I actually hated the character when I first saw him, because the first time I saw him was Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and he looked so bad. If you don't know
didn't see
who
Tekken 4.
No, I didn't play the first Tekken I ever bought was Tekken 5. And
really?
I didn't play Tekken before. I played tag with some friends, but the first time I ever,
You missed Tekken 3. Like, Tekken 3 is like fighting game fucking legend.
Yeah, I was in the Soul Calibur mode back then. I was all Soul Calibur. It wasn't by choice. It's just I played Tekken in the arcades. The first character I ever picked was Yoshimitsu, and it just felt awkward to me. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. The game's cool, but I just have no idea what I'm doing. And I bought Soul Calibur for the Dreamcast because the reviews were insane. And that, to this day, is like one of the best fighting game experiences I've ever had, just playing with my brother. And then it was Soul Calibur for like the next 10 years. Yeah.
Marduk looks appalling in this. In Street Fighter Cross Tekken, sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I was about to say, yeah. I was looking at the picture Django posted, and I'm like, that is a weird picture of Marduk. No,
very weird Marduk. Oh my god.
To me, what sold me on Marduk, and this is years after I saw the Cross Tekken model, was when I saw King's Tekken 4 ending, and I was just like so touched by that. I'm like, all right, I'm on the Marduk train now, which is ironic because he literally stopped a train with King in the later Tekken. So yeah, I like him a lot now. I'm really glad he's back. And from a gameplay perspective, he's super important. Nobody plays like that.
Yes.
Indeed.
Most definitely. Most def.
I bought a guitar.
Aren't you hype? Aren't you hype? How hype are you?
It's like a 6 on the hype scale and like a 10 on the remorse scale.
No, dude, you gotta get way hype. Come on, dude. It's gonna be sick. It already is sick. Are we talking about? Did we transition to the new thing? You're sick. There
was a couple more things I wanted to sound you guys out on MK11.
Sure.
Okay.
Which was armor. How, like, armor and particular armored launchers. Where do you guys think they're going to go with that? Because that was such a huge part of the initial meta of MKX. And then by the end of the game, they'd basically done away with it altogether. And the only place you really had armor in MK9, if I remember correctly, was there were some specials that had armor and that you basically had to respect, which were like, I remember Rain's Super Roundhouse had like 2 hits of armor, I think. So I was just wondering, do you guys think there'll be a more liberal use of armor, like in the initial days of MKX, or are we going back to MK9? What do you think?
I mean, it's another question where it's like, are you asking me? No, if you're asking me, I think it'll be there. I think armor's here to stay. I think they're going to tone it down quite a bit, but I think it's going to be there for sure because they're so good at it now. But if you ask me what I want, I would just get rid of all the armor, dude. I just get rid of all of it. Because to me, armor, all it does is it creates a dissonance between high-level play and low-level play. So I have a string that has a gap in it. That string has now been categorized into, if you're playing the scrub, the string is godlike. If you're playing someone who knows what they're doing, the string is useless, and I hate that. And it's only useful in a guessing situation, and that was my big problem with gaps, especially in Injustice 2, is like, Paulo, all you're doing is creating more guessing situations in an already not as guess-heavy as MKX, but there's a lot of risk-taking in Injustice that just, I feel like, the risk-reward in Injustice is just too much. I want to reduce the guessing games, and that's all gaps do. They create artificial guessing games. So it's like the string is good if you don't know the gap. The string is shit if you do know the gap. Or at best, it's a very useful guessing game. But I don't want my good strings to be guessing games. I want my good strings just to be good fucking strings. I don't have this problem in Street Fighter. At least not to the same extent. Because if I use a string with a gap in Street Fighter 4, I'll get like an EX Shoryuken, whatever, right? They get free Oki. That is not really true in Mortal Kombat because Oki is a lot more dangerous in all versions. MK9, MKX, it's just the game. As Sonic Fox said it best, if you get knocked down, you could die. So that's my rant. But I hope there's way less armor. And I hope, let me put it this way, I'm okay with all the armor in the world if they just get rid of the fucking gaps. So,
from what I got from that wasn't that you hate armor, it's that you hate gaps in string.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm okay with armor in like a defensive sense. I think that's okay. But they shouldn't launch. I don't like armored launchers.
Yeah, armored launchers
right
was
back
bad.
to the guessing game. What's that?
Yeah, that was a bad. I was going to say armored launchers was a bad design choice on Paolo's part.
Yeah, so that's a good. I'm glad we talked about that. I could talk about gaps for days, but
well, gaps is a weird topic because it's so prevalent in Injustice. There's so many gaps, and I really hope he got that out of his Paolo got that out of his system for Injustice. I don't want to see that back for MKX. Because I think you make a good point in that it differentiates between high level and low level play. But equally, I don't want to have to learn where every gap in the game is.
Or at least tell me, I tweeted
at least tell me
just tell me what the gaps are.
Yeah, like if you're giving me all the frame data, could you tell me, gap data. I want gap data.
Yeah, just open the menu, go to the string, and in the string put in parentheses, this has a jab interruptible gap, Paulo face, and we're good. Like, you just give me that, I'm happy. And I don't want to laugh like Wonder Woman. I kept getting supered in the middle of my fucking gaps, and I'm like, first of all, how the fuck did they even know to do that? And second of all, fuck. So yeah, it's just it's a sort of
Blue Beetle is a gap heavy character.
Oh, Blue Beetle. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, what is
yeah, he's got that.
Combo starters 1/1/1 is high and has a fucking jab interruptible gap, and jabs can be canceled into combo starters in Injustice. So they just don't tell you that. So it's just super disappointing. But I mean, I always have to give this disclaimer. I love Paulo, and I think he's getting so much better at what he does. And I don't think this is going to be an exception. I think we are going to see a lot of the gaps kind of fade into the background. They'll still be there, but I think. I don't know if anyone is bitching about this but me, but my gut tells me they are going to get better about the gaps.
I agree. Was that it for your MK11?
Yeah,
brain pickers.
Go on, Tim.
I have more questions about MK11.
Please.
Yeah, well, I would say, what are you worried about? Like, if going into January, is there anything you don't want to see? Gameplay, character, anything? What are you concerned about?
I think if they were to continue the direction of MKX being such an aggressive 50-50 game, that is something I'm worried about. I appreciate it, like, if you're, maybe I don't want to sound dismissive or pejorative, but like for the casual viewer, like the 50-50 of MKX, shit is happening, as opposed to, watching Starfire and Fate in Injustice, and I can see why people find that boring. I'd be concerned about that. I'm concerned about the roster, because this is something I think I touched on earlier, in that we're getting our hopes up to a huge degree, and I am as well. And there's some characters I think we can safely say, okay, they're almost certainly in. Shang Tsung, Smoke, Jade, Noob. I'd be shocked if they weren't. But other than that, I'm concerned they're going to use the fracturing timelines theme as essentially an excuse to bring back like classic versions of like essentially the MK2 roster.
Interesting.
And I want to move on from that. Like, obviously there's characters who need to come back, but and it's like it would be acceptable in MK11 if MKX had a better roster. Like, there's no need for Kung Lao, Katana, and Kenshi to be in MKX. If you replace those three characters on the starting roster with Fujin, Rain, and Reiko, it's an entirely different game. And it feels different. And I think MK11 may suffer from kind of the sins of the father in this regard, in that I'm in a position where I have to be much, not that it's not like I'm passing judgment on the thing, but from my perspective, I'm much less forgiving of the roster in MK11 because of the roster we got in MKX. So if they're going to use if they're going to use the fracturing timelines thing to say, well, okay, this is the darkest timeline, but here we have Sonya and Johnny from the original timeline, the happier timelines. Here's Liu Kang from the happier timelines, and here's a non-revenant Katana. That's fine if you're using it like in arcade mode and as an excuse for skins. But if we're going to have that in story, and that's going to be our base roster on that point, on that footing, instead of seeing people like Fujin or like Nightwolf or Reiko would be great. instead of seeing that kind of development, that's something I'm very, very concerned about. Because I think the fracturing timelines, to me, seems like a great opportunity to do that. I mean, I would have loved to see the fracturing timeline story in MK12. MK11, I would have liked to see be their version of Deception, or essentially, maybe not even Deception, but to do for Shang Tsung and Onaga, if possible, preferably Shang Tsung, what MK9 did for Quan Chi and what MKX did for Shinnok, to give them that moment in the sun. Like, my idea for the start of MK11 should have been, like, the intro is Shang coming back, and like the first act is Raiden's tournament in Outworld, and then Kotal wins, maybe because Cassie refuses to fight or something like that. Then you've got an Earthrealm civil war going on between Raiden and Fujin, and you can split up the combat kids in that regard. So say Kung Jin and, I don't know, Jackie side with Raiden, and Takeda and Cassie side with Fujin, and then Raiden kills Takeda, and that gets Jackie to turn against him. And then you've Kung Jin becoming more interesting because he's somewhat antagonistic. Whereas over in Outworld, you have another civil war going on with kind of Shang Tsung rising and kind of pulling off a palace coup against Kotal Khan. And then you can expand that kind of civil war theme into the Netherrealm, because then you have, say, Liu Kang and the Revenant forces against Noob Saibot. And so you could have these struggles, these kind of faction struggles and kind of civil wars going on across the different realms. And then once that kind of resolves, then I would have gone into MK12 with the fracturing timelines, because then we've essentially solved all the dangling plot threads left from MKX and kind of left over from the old timeline. And then we're going to say, well, remember the other timelines, and then we can go forward from there. So my concern is that they're going to pass up the opportunity to do so, and that instead of Sindel and Serena and Li Mei, we're going to get Sonya Katana and Melina again. That's something I'm concerned about.
I mean, it's historical. I mean, it's kind of happened already, because Deception set up all these plot threads that just never got resolved. They just buried them. Yeah,
and there was a kind of an excuse with Deception, I guess, in that, Midway was going out of business and they were like, fucking end this and make us some fucking money. But for me now, considering WB has given them essentially carte blanche, it would be somewhat disappointing. It would be incredibly disappointing. I'll call a spade a spade. It would be incredibly disappointing for me if that's the approach they take. Because, and it's something I know you'd agreed with, Temp, the roster of this game really is predicated on the roster of MKX. Because the roster of MKX was so dull and just so kind of blasé to me that I need this roster to pop for me. And I'm concerned that they're going to say, well, we have Shang Tsung and Smoke and Jade and Noob. There you go. We're going to have those 4 characters and the MKX roster. And I don't fucking want that. Do not give me that.
Yeah. And we waited for that MKX roster. Remember when we didn't know it was an MKX roster? And we just hoped in vain for months and months?
Yeah.
Yeah, it hurt. There was a lot of goodwill lost in that journey. And that is why I'm glad I didn't know this game existed until...
Yeah, me too.
So that helps a lot, but you're right. They kind of have to win me back in some respects, because especially with
I was going to say, I have some faith with them, and this episode has been a great example of the trope of Temp getting interrupted constantly.
I used to be a journalist, so I'm so used to letting the conversation kind of make sure nothing gets tangled. It's like you don't want too many wires on top of each other. No, it's absolutely, it's God, AMK marketing was such a sore point, but go on.
Yeah, it sucked dick. I appreciate that they need to bring back, and I'm not one of these people who, and I don't mean that in a pejorative sense, who says no new characters ever. I mean, for me, and I said this on TYM, the answer to underdevelopment is not further underdevelopment. It's not a lack of development. The answer to say, Jackie is so underdeveloped is let's never see Jackie again. The answer is to bring her back and to make something of her. It's like the answer to Cobra and Kira and Dairu and Darius wasn't, Jesus, those characters fucking suck dick, let's never use them again. It should have been, how can we salvage these characters? How can we use these characters? Look at Stryker. Stryker, was kind of a joke character in MK3. He came back in MK9 and he was great. And for me, I appreciate, for me then, that they need to bring back the new characters. Like, I would hope that I'm not a huge fan of Aaron Black, but I would hope he comes back. I would say Aaron, Kotal, and 3 of the kids need to come back. So I would of the 8 new characters, I would want 5 at least back. And that really,
I agree with you on Kotal. I hate Kotal, but I agree with you on Kotal.
I hate game Kotal. I love Kittleson Kotal. Like Kotal in the fucking great. That's one of the best MK characters.
Yeah, but he's not. He's not in the game.
He's not.
Yeah. He's not there.
But like the saving grace could be that Kittleson now. So maybe he'll export that over. We can hope and pray. As opposed to Kotal just being like, okay, so Shinnok's taking off. I'm going to attack Earthrealm because reasons, which was just very fucking strange.
So not only is he not in there, but MKX Kotal outright contradicts the character set up. It's very
categorically. And I don't really lay that at Kittleson's door. I lay that at X's door. Clearly a lack of communication and a lack of joined up thinking in that regard. And it's why I was kind of glad there was no MK11 comic, because maybe it shows a centralization of lore and a centralization of story. And it's not like, sure, you can, take Goro and you can cut off his arms and you can have Ermac on Melina's side, which means Ermac helped overthrow Melina and then went back to Melina and then went back to Kotal. And this makes zero fucking sense, but we're just going to roll with it. But the point is, I accept we need to bring back a chunk at least of the new characters, which is going to eat into the roster for the characters I want to come back from Deception and from the 3D era and from MK3. So my overarching concern really is the roster. I mean, if the gameplay is 50-50 heavy, I'm sure I can live with it. I mean, I lived with it in MKX. I wasn't happy with it, but I lived with it. I found Cybernetic Kano in the end, and that's a very happy marriage. But if the roster is as dull as MKX's was, and I'd include Kano in that, like Kano should not come back from this game. Okay, MKX Kano was the best Kano he's ever been, but the man can categorically sit out.
Of course, he had everything. He had no flaws.
Yeah, Kano and MKX is great. Like the design was great. I really warmed to Kano and MKX, but he needs to sit this out. And Sonya needs to sit this out. And I've no objection to them coming back as DLC. But story mode and base starting roster needs to be a bold new step. It needs to be something different. It needs to make me... Like, when I put in the... Because I managed to go spoiler-free for the last, I think, month of MKX. So I didn't see the last few characters revealed as a story mode. And I remember when I put the disc in, and I opened up the practice menu to see what characters were in the game. I was like, really? That's it? Because there was no... Yeah, a little bit. Because it was a build-up for about 9 months from the E3 of last year. And I was like, that's as so bland. It was like a ham and cheese sandwich. It was there. There was no spicy mustard. There was no relish. There was no Reiko. There was no fucking cyborgs. There was nothing that made me go, oh, holy shit, I've got to play this guy. I want that in MKX. Or beg pardon, MK11. And it's impossible considering I have to cover it for TYM now. I will know everybody as they come out. And I'll probably get spoiled on the story as well.
Oh, it could be a blessing, because it would suck if MK11, like, you popped the game in after you went dark for, like, half a year. Yeah. And then it's an MK, like, 10 select screen with, like, Ultimate MK Scorpion in the top right corner. Like, that was the shitty thing.
So, like, take like January 17th in London. If I finally I get to one of the consoles or on the reveal or however they're going to do it, and I see Reiko or Fujin, like, I shit myself. It'll be fucking great. But on the other hand, I'm not expecting much things from. I know a lot of people are, I think, definitely over egging the pudding on the reveals. I think it's going to be the Canon 3 Scorpion Sub-Zero Raiden. I think probably Cassie, Kotal. I would imagine they'll hold back on Oracle. So I'd say we'll get Cassie, Kotal, and one other character who may be something of a surprise. I think we'll see Smoke there. Personally, Smoke or Noob. I think we'll see those 6 characters, and I think Smoke or Noob will be very show-offy. But I think people saying, oh, well, we could get 10, 12 characters, slow your roll. So I'm expecting to be overwhelmed just by the game itself. But as the reveals drag on, and if and when I boot that game up for the first time on my own console, if it's MKX plus 4 or 5 people and 2 or 3 new characters, I'm not gonna be a particularly happy bunny. And I'm in favor of the new characters, and I think I'm one of the few people who, when I read the leaks, I'm like, yeah, I could get into that. Like, you've got the necromancer guy who helps Quan Chi, you've got Oracle, you've got Diedrich, and you've got somebody else. I can't remember. But yeah, this roster needs to work. They cannot afford to fuck this roster up. I've some faith in them getting it right, because Injustice 2 had such a good roster. But they cannot play this roster safe. You know, they need to take some chances here. They need to say, well, you know, you got Kung Lao in the last game. You don't need Kung Lao again. You got Katana in the last game. You don't need Katana again. Now, okay, Katana's a bad example. I'd be kind of weirded out if the Empress of the Netherrealm wasn't in this game. But say, you know, Kung Lao.
Actually, Melina's not in. It'd be weird to have Melina and Katana absent. That would be so strange.
Yeah, that would be, to have both of the twins gone. But, like, you know, Kung Lao and Kenshi and Jax, if any of those 3 are in starting roster, I'm going to be a confused little bear, because they didn't serve much of a point in MKX. I appreciate Jax had his story mode, but Jax's story mode could have been Serena's, and the whole game would have been much better, and they wouldn't have had to change the story massively. You know, Kung Lao and Kenshi served no role. They were essentially NPCs. So yeah, the roster is probably my biggest worry.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm a little more optimistic than you are about the January 17th roster. Because they have to reveal a ton of characters, because if they don't, they will have to reveal literally more than a character a week to get the whole roster out there before the game comes out.
I actually think
it's not gonna. You think they're gonna hold off?
I think they're gonna hold off. I think by the time the game, let's be honest, by the time like everything leaks, like story mode leaks in the last couple of weeks, I think there will be a couple of characters by then we haven't seen.
That's why I think they are going to reveal the whole roster before the game comes out, because they know the leaks they're so sharp these days, you know. And like people like Smash Brothers leaked, like people had the disc for Smash Brothers Ultimate like more than a week before the game came out. So I would think they're going to get them all out there, unless they're just going to like atom bomb drop like half the roster on us in March. That'd be crazy.
Well, no, I am expecting. Well, and it's kind of ironic because the other kind of video game franchise I'm really into, Civilization, and
Civilization tight.
I love those games, and the new expansion that's coming out in February. I'm just getting overloaded stuff, but they're releasing like one new Civ a week, and it's a very kind of stable. Like Tuesday you get the reveal, Thursday you get the live stream explanation. I wouldn't be surprised to see NRS do something like that. Now we used to get the Combat Cast streams. I think we used to get 2 a month or something like that, or maybe 1 a month. But I really think starting in maybe the first week of February, we will get like a character reveal a week at least. But I'm expecting, and maybe I'm being optimistic here, I'm expecting 31 characters at launch, including Shao Kahn. So like that's 30 base roster. That gives them a lot of time. So I am expecting 1 or 2 characters who... And yeah, it will leak and we will know who they are, but I think that's just... Like, I know you can't see me shrug my shoulders, but I shrug my shoulders. That's just part and parcel of modern
new world,
video gaming. Yeah, we live in that world now where everything is going to leak. Which is why I really do think that come... Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but by the time MKX released, the only character we hadn't seen was Shinnok. Would I be right in saying that?
No, we saw Shinnok before. He was in the trailer. Shinnok? Yeah, we saw. He had a stream as well. He did have his own gameplay.
Oh yeah, I of course I went dark a month before MKX came out. I wouldn't know. But maybe it's just me extrapolating from not being surprised at all. I feel like there was in the community there was no kind of moment in terms of a character reveal. Everything was kind of known. I don't think that'll be the case. I think when the game leaks, it'll be like MK9, where we're like, they did put Smoke in, they put Shiva in. I think we're going to get those moments. And hopefully it won't be as depressing as Smoke's stupid fucking hair. But I think we're going to find out a couple of characters that way.
Fair enough. I like consistency more than anything. I like knowing when the reveal is going to be and being like I love the way the Nintendo Directs work. I think that's a fantastic way to reveal characters. But yeah, I agree with most of that. And even the stuff I disagree with would not bother me if that ended up being the case. I'd be cool with that. Well, 2 more questions, at least MK11. Yeah. Next question is when you put the disc in your console or you download it digitally and you look for a character you want to play, gameplay wise, what do you want to do? Like, for example, I love anti-airing and I love just staggering and poking. I love getting into like the danger zone and just kind of holding the fort and just kind of like frustrating and attacking the opponent and then kind of going in for the kill. What do you want to do in MK11 gameplay wise? What do you want? What is fun to you, and how do you want to go about doing it? What are you hoping is going to be there?
Well, I've in just to and going back to MKX, so kind of MKX was really helpful for me in kind of refining my what I want in gameplay, and it's really kind of crystallized to me that what I want is the ability to zone. And I don't even need any of this to be particularly good, but the ability to zone, but also to fuck someone up if they get mid-range, which is why Superman is so perfect for me. Because if you want to stay on the other side of the screen, I'll zap you all day. If you want to try and get in, I'll F2-3 you and put you on the other side of the screen with 40% damage. I love Superman. So what I want, and basically to call a spade, like the first thing I do when I get MKX will be go to practice mode and open Shang Tsung and see what he's like. I want to find a zoner. I want somebody with quick projectiles. So think cybernetic Kano or full auto Jackie.
Okay.
That kind of rapid projectile. But which is, I suppose, why cybernetic Kano is a great example, because he's got really good footsies and he's got great core. Like you can get 50% easy in the corner with cybernetic Kano. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a simple, because execution is not my thing. Like a fairly simple way to do 30-35% decent footsies, but I want zoning. I want to keep you on the other side of the screen. I want to frustrate you. I want to piss you off. I don't want you to touch me. That's what I'm looking for in MK11. And what's been interesting actually is, like, I went into MKX thinking I'm going to main Codal, and then I played Codal and I was like, I can't fucking main this. And then I said, I'm going to main Raiden. I can't fucking main this. So I've kind of refined my technique in that I'll have a list of characters in MK11 I could conceivably main, who I would be happy maining, saying that's my character. But they need to correspond to the way I want to play the game, So if Shang's in the game, but say that they take the variation system and they give Shang a command grab variation of the Soul Steal, which could be an interesting way to go with the character, I wouldn't be hugely into that. Now, I played Grundy, and Grundy was a grappler. Grundy was a very unusual grappler in that a huge part of Grundy's game, to me, was his Swamp Hand, so his down back 2, which was a really nice ground burst. It had good range, it was quick, and if you could meter burn it and dash across the screen and get full combo damage. And the idea was, when I played Grundy, was I'm going to piss you off with that. I'm going to have my armor buff up for my chain throw. And that means I can essentially block all day. My chip buff is up. So you basically can't hurt me. You need to come in and try and hurt me. And then I'm just going to grab you. So it was kind of like the opposite of Superman, where I want you on the other side of the screen, but if you come in, I can put you back on the other side of the screen. My Grundy was, I want you up close to me, but I'm going to make you come to me, if that makes sense.
That sounds fun, yeah. Yeah,
it was really interesting to play. And like, more than any character, my Grundy got so much fucking salt online. By Jesus. It was fascinating stuff. Like, actually, to be fair, Superman's down back 1 meter burn is a salt machine. But that's what I want. So
I think there'll be some of that. It's hard because that's a very specific gameplay design. Maybe
it is.
I hope so for your sake. Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not kind of hard and fast on it, so I'm amenable to experimentation and different stuff like that. Like, I'll put it this way: if Superman wasn't in Injustice 2, I'd probably play Green Lantern, because I need to feel an affinity with the character. So, for instance, I've often made the point I've made the point before that Harley Quinn actually plays a lot like Superman, the way I play her, and that she's a strong zoning game, but really good footsies. And if you get kind of within mid-range, she can fuck you up. But if Superman wasn't the game, I couldn't play Harley because Harley's not my character. Like, I could see Green Lantern being my character, certainly. I could see Blue Beetle, maybe not Blue Beetle, he's a bit nice for me. But that kind of gameplay style, like Beetle's gameplay style, would have been suitable if Superman wasn't in the game. So I don't need a carbon copy of, say, Noob or Kano or Grundy or Superman in the game. I just need somebody with like adequate footsies and good zoning, if I could put it that way.
I think you'll absolutely get that. I think,
I'd be surprised
with characters coming back. All right, well, then my final question would be, really, this is a question I think everyone should start thinking about, but it's definitely the most important question to me for you tonight, Evan.
Yep.
What's your plan for a playing regiment when this game comes out? How do you want to get sets in? How long do you want to play a week? Like, our first to 10, stuff like that, Discord matches. Have you thought about that at all? Because we had to miss out on you with MKX. I'm wondering how you're approaching this time.
Well, yeah, it's going to be difficult. I mean, the first week the game is out, the courts are actually closed. It's coming out in the middle of the Easter vacation for the courts over here. So it was the first thing I saw when I checked the release date. I was like, the fucking courts are closed. Yes. So I've got the first week off that. But the problem is, I have like 3 jobs. So I've got my own practice. I work at a gym. I do a bit of personal training at the gym, and I teach law at my old university at University College Dublin. So free time is an interesting concept to me, and TYM, of course.
Yeah.
So,
oh my god.
And the problem with kind of running your own practice is, like, I can take days off to go to London for the reveal, but there's no one to cover for me if I need to be in. I need to be in, and I need to be doing work. So I can't really commit to say, I'll get 10 hours in a week or anything, or even approaching that. All I'm hoping to do is to get in as much as I can. I know that the local scene around here in Ireland, it's not too bad. It's recovered a bit, but like for Injustice 2 was very weak. There was very little interest in the local scene. If it recovers, I'm not sure. I mean, I know the guys used to meet up on a Wednesday. The problem with me for the Wednesday was, and still is, that's when I have one of the jiu-jitsu things, one of my jiu-jitsu classes. But yeah, I'd like to say and commit and say I'll get like some. I'll definitely get some matches in with you guys. It'd be a shame if I didn't. And considering I'm off for a week from the practice job, I'll have some stuff on the gym, I suppose, and UCD will be closed. In terms of a long-term plan, like I can't commit to a training regimen, I'm afraid. Like, it is a hobby. It's a video game. Yeah. And it's like 8th. Growing up sucks, man. It's like 8th on the list of priorities, I'm afraid.
Well, what do you want to get in as far as sets? Like, what do you want to prove in the first 30 days of the game? How much practice would you want to get in set-wise?
I don't really know. Like, as much as I can, to be honest. I've always preferred playing randoms than people I know.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
It's
I'm weird like
me.
that.
Oh my god! Another one.
Yeah, because if I'm playing a guy I know, then like I know this guy. I know Temp, and I've to. Temp is going to be shit talking on the Nethercast next time I'm talking. That's going to get in my head. Whereas if it's just some random dude, I could give a fuck, dude. I don't care. Teabag me. I don't give a fuck. I like the idea of just like hopping onto ranked with just me and my character and just seeing what comes up. And there's been times I've gone on 15-20 match win streaks. There's been times I've got ketchup and mustard just wiping the floor with me painfully. there's been times using kind of alt accounts, just for the shits and giggles. I'd match up with my friends from the Irish scene. And there was one of them, and I won't say his name, but I beat him really badly with my alt, and I never told him because he always hammers me, which was very satisfying. No, that's what I'd be hoping to get.
Well, I guess, I mean, for me, it's the... I know I'm not using this phrase correctly, but a lot of large numbers, you know? I mean, playing a Cyborg, and especially Down 4, I played over 1,000 matches with Down 4 over the last year. Just, you learn so much. You learn a ton doing this shit, so... probably not, pretty close, at least 500, but yeah, just, you learn so much about your playstyle, and you learn so much about your weaknesses and deficiencies. It's so interesting, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that covers my questions. Yeah, I think those are all good answers. They're all fair answers.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to commit to like dedicated game night, but you know, I can't get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and play 3 hours.
That's all good.
Mortal Kombat and then rock up and cook. Like, how you judge? Yeah, I know my eyes are falling out, but trust me, it was a good set. Yeah, I think that the only question I had for you guys that we haven't covered is, and I know Django is dying, so we'll wrap it up.
No, you're good. You're good.
Is battle passes, and I was just wondering, what the fuck do you guys think?
Oh my god, battle passes. I don't know. It's a mystery and a scary one.
I'm not sure I know what the battle passes are supposed to be. Like, I'm still...
No one is.
Yeah.
That's the fear for me anyway.
I'm hoping it'll be like, it means we're getting kind of seasons. So with each DLC character, so say we have, I mean, we know we have 6 in combat in pack 1 and 6 passes. What I'm hoping that is that, so say Melina is the first DLC character. There'll be like a Melina season, and there'll be new gear in the Melina season that you can only get during that season. And you need the battle pass to get into that season. And the battle pass will say come with Melina. And then say the second character is Baraka. Then start the Baraka season. And it'll have gear for all characters in the different seasons. So it'll keep the gear feeling really fresh. That's what I'm hoping. I think that's probably optimistic, but it's what I'm hoping there.
I'm staying pretty far away from it, to be honest with you. I'm kind of like all the I'm not even buying like the. This is the first time I'm not buying a season pass for the NetherRealm games. I just God, it's never been a returning investment for me. Yeah,
you're not buying the season pass.
No, not yet. At least I would need to see something very substantial. I just I don't know. Like there was Starfire. I had a lot of fun with Starfire, but generally speaking, I never get my dollar back. And I almost always end up supporting something I never intended to support, like whether it be Freddy or whether it be Hellboy. I never wanted to give my money to that kind of stuff. So I'm not boycotting. Like I'm not completely turning down the possibility. If I like the content, I'm in there, but I can't do the mystery anymore. I need to know what I'm getting now.
Well, that is a big, yeah. I want to see it too. I want to see more of what the content is, and then I'll judge if I'm getting a pass. It is really weird to me that there is a combat pack, and then it also mentioned the battle pass. I don't know if I'll get a season pass. I might not. Like I said though, like I don't play a big laundry list of characters, but if they show enough content up front to make it interesting, that'll change my mind. That could easily change my mind.
Yeah, I actually have a degree of faith in them in this regard. I think whatever kind of pessimism and like nihilism I have over the roster, I actually think they're really good about single player content, and I really do think that I think that the battle pass system could actually be kind of cool, and I'm probably setting myself up for a massive fall here, but I do think it'll be hopefully worth the money. I mean, for me, the issue with the season passes is always guest characters. I don't want to be seen to be putting money towards them. Like now, whatever about Injustice, I could care less about Injustice, but like I still consider Leatherface and Alien a personal affront. I've never bought Kombat Pack 2.
Odd picks, definitely. Really odd picks. Alien.
Yeah, that's... We'll see. Nothing would make me happier than for something to be like, oh my god, I gotta buy this right now. If I see something like that, That is such a good.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, they gotta convince me. They gotta convince me to invest like that, and I hope they do. It's a challenge I issue to you, NRS. Convince me to buy your passes, and maybe I will. I might buy a guitar. I might buy a pass.
I think you got.
It's got to be a sexy pass, though, man. Make it sexy.
God.
It's gonna be fun,
I may have
Tim.
bought a guitar while we were recording. That's all I got, though. That covers all my questions on my list.
Cool,
awesome.
Well, Ken, did you want to talk? Did you want to talk about Kage before we say our goodbyes?
Nah.
Have you played him? have you touched him, Tim? Have you touched Kage?
Oh fuck! No, I'm not buying Kage.
Okay. I might buy Kage. I'm a shameless Shoto whore. Really, like that's really all there is to it.
I'm a huge fan of Evil Ryu, and they took out all the design elements I love about Evil Ryu. So no, unless he's in some sort of pass, which they confirmed today he won't be. Yeah, I'm not buying him.
I don't even have. I deleted Street Fighter V off my PlayStation 4 for not salty reasons, just space reasons. But I might have to re-download it just for Kage because I like Shotos. I really like evil versions and alternate versions of that shit. I like Evil Ryu going backwards. I like obviously I'm an Akuma guy. Akuma is my favorite Street Fighter character. And so Evil Ryu has a lot of that shit too. His
Kage is
cool to
Kage
me.
is basically like he's like Shadow Jago essentially, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's something like that. You're not too far off.
My Street Fighter lore is immensely rusty.
He's Ryu that's overtaken by the Dark Hado. So he's got a bunch of the Akuma shit basically. But Akuma is
well, Kage means shadow, doesn't it? The word Kage is Japanese for shadow, yeah.
Yep, and that's kind of what their play is on. He's a shadow of Ryu. He's not actually Ryu. He's not the whole package of Ryu. He's the evil part of Ryu. He is Evil Ryu though. Like he's that character they've done several times. Evil Ryu. In this game, they're just calling him a different name, Kage, but it's still Evil Ryu. At least that's my understanding of how I'm seeing him. And I've checked him out quite a lot. His gameplay does look pretty cool to me. And you can combo into a demon. That sounds pretty sick. So I probably will have to touch Kage at some point.
Hopefully not in a kind of inappropriate way.
Well, we'll see. If he convinces me, like NetherRealm with the passes, who knows what could happen. We'll see. Is there anything else, gentlemen?
I think that's everything from me. So just to we just discussed this off screen. Off screen. Yep. Off screen. We're all basically convinced, or maybe suspicious, of the leaks being fake. Do any of us think the leaks are real?
Nah, I'm leaning towards no. I personally don't think so at this point.
I don't think so either.
Possible, but yeah.
I think there will be. I think there will be leaks, absolutely, like there has been for a lot recently. Leaks happen to me. I think there will definitely be leaks, but I don't think these are those leaks. I don't think these are the leaks we're looking for.
No, and I think we'll know fairly quickly. I mean, if Ronda Rousey isn't, at the Los Angeles event,
oh my god,
it's disproved.
I mean, that's not bad to me, Ronda Rousey, because I don't care about Sonya.
See, I don't. I'm an MMA guy, and I never liked Ronda.
Okay, I mean that's fair too.
I don't want her in more.
You don't like Ronda. I don't like Sonya.
I get quite enough of Ronda with WWE anyway.
We'll find out about that particular leak. But there's been fucking all the leaks of the rainbows recently. There's been a ton of them. So,
and you can find analysis of those leaks on testyourmic.com.
Nice.
Thank you.
Was good.
I'm hoping some of it's true, but I don't know. Like for me, it's just it's so little time that leaks are kind of bouncing off me. It's like April's right around the corner. It's like nothing can really faze me at this point. The only thing that can faze me is January 17th, and that's really about it. I'm feeling kind of numb and invincible at the moment.
Numb in a good way, in a decent way. Like, not numb as like I'm worn out, not numb as I'm tired and annoyed by a bad PR scheme or whatever they call that. Build up. I'm ready for it. And the leaks all just say, like, the more every time I hear Chronica, it takes away from that.
That is a stupid fucking name.
So just everybody. I get it. Leaks are fun. Fake leaks are fun. Even if there's a hint of truth in it, just fucking shut the fuck up. I'm way more interested in actual gameplay shit, and that's actually happening at an actual date, and it's not a leak. It's gonna happen. So that's where I'm at, gentlemen.
Cool. I think that's a reasonable point.
Okay. Well, was there anything else?
I think I'm good.
Okay. I just want to say, like, what's going on?
No, go for it.
No, massive shout outs to you, Evan, for coming on the show. This is always fun, and the only thing that sucks is it took so long to get you back. So hopefully,
yeah, this has been in the works for like a year and a half,
a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was going to be like
that's what I was going to say. Same thing that Tim said. Yeah.
But look, it's NRS's fault because I was going to be on after. Well, there's no point in doing this, and then this became the Soul Calibur Shrine, and I'm like, miss me with that shit. But yeah, it's great to be back, and I mean, with any luck, we'll get this done on a more regular basis between from now on. Obviously, I suppose we'll probably start coordinating as soon as possible for the January 17th one.
Yeah, that one's coming up around the corner. That's like.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm really excited about that one. That one's going to be...
My flight home is... like I'll be arriving back home about 9 o'clock, so... And 9 o'clock in the morning, which is about 2 hours ago. So if you want, we could, like, do that fresh from... we can work that out, but we could do that fresh from the reveal.
That would be crazy.
If you have the energy, absolutely. If you're feeling up to it, definitely.
I'll be fucking tired. I won't be making much sense, but I will be there. I'll be much grouchier than ever. So I'll just be annihilating stupid questions.
Well, that's up to you. If you're fresher, if you get to sleep first, we can do that too. It doesn't have to be right off the cuff. But,
well, I mean, the alternative is waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do it. So it may be better to just get it out of the way. But certainly we can work that out. But yeah, hopefully, with any luck, my dulcet Irish tones will be gracing the Warrior Shrine on a much more frequent basis.
And boy, are they dulcet.
Boy, are they dulcet. And as I said earlier, and just to reiterate the point, if you ask gameplay questions to the Nethercast when you know I'm this shrine, I will find you, kick down your door, beat you up, and mac on your honey.
He will. And you've heard over the course of this thing, man, he fucking part-times at a gym. And he runs a practice, and he does all this other bullshit, and you should be terrified. And he plays fighting games. Like, Jesus Christ.
No doors will be safe.
There are no doors are safe for me, correct.
It's not a threat to take lightly, gents, anywhere in the world. Such a funny promo. I like that. I love that promo so much. It's so sick. Yeah, man, I'm fucking hyped about that, and I'm hyped that you're going. I'm hyped that you're gonna talk to and ask the questions that you're going to. I'm hyped. Fucking Chrome is that guy.
Chrome is that guy.
Yeah. I'm like, there's that's gonna be fucking too good, and I'm hyped that it also gives us like a day where you're coming back, and we know you're coming back. It's going to be soon, so there's not that much ambiguity there, and that is also really sick. I'm looking forward to it.
And if I can have one last plug, if I may, on about the 2nd or 3rd of January, there will be the first chapter of the Mortal Kombat kind of history timeline thing I'm doing. So I know this is the anti-lore podcast, but
No.
Yeah, we all do.
TV.
Yeah, we all just do love the lore. So if you've any interest in the lore, do check that out. It's 12,000 words longer than my thesis, so I consider that to be my true thesis. I think I spent longer on that than I did on my actual thesis, which is very depressing.
That's cool.
You got it right. You did it right.
I think I did it right. Yeah, so that'll be going up, and if you've any interest,
test your might. That's where that's going to be
on the best internet site for all things Mortal Kombat and all things NetherRealm Studios, testyourmic.com, which will, of course, be having the only simultaneous coverage of both the London and Los Angeles reviews.
There's just the saturation over there is overwhelming. The saturation is saturating.
Yeah, we are going balls deep on this.
Man, it was. Thank you, sir. Thank you for all of that, and thank you for coming on.
It's been a pleasure, gentlemen.
And thank you ahead of time for coming back. I am really looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to the next time already.
And thank you, everybody who's listening. Chrome has been in here from the top. GG, sir, boy.
You the man, Chrome. You the man.
If any of you guys listening in the time between now and when Evan's going to go, hit us some questions in the comment sections of wherever you're watching, YouTubes and whatnot. And I can't read and do the podcast at the same time. I sound insane. Ask questions in the comment sections on YouTube. Like, what do you like? What would you guys like to see at that thing at the reveal event? And what would you guys like Evan to ask at those things? If you have any hot questions, maybe
I'll be happy to answer any questions people have.
Especially if they're good.
I'd be happy to. Especially if they're good. If I'm doing it on like no hour sleep for the last 2 days, I'll call you a fucking idiot if your question's stupid. But if it's a good question, I'll be more than happy to.
If it's a really good question, then please hit us with that. We would love your good questions. Good questions would be great. Good questions would be great. So yeah, let us know there, and also let us know here on the Discord. You can jump over in the Warrior Shrine thread that's dedicated and ask those questions in there, and that is the best way for us to see them. It's really fucking convenient for me, and I'm sick with a sinus infection, and convenience sounds really nice to me right now. Thank you everyone for listening. You guys are all sweethearts, and I hope you're as excited for season 3 of the Warrior Shrine as I am. Thanks, gents, for hanging out with us. Thank you to sirs, and we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye. Say bye, everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Shalom Gafal, gents. Shalom Gafal.
No.
I gotta find it. Are you guys ready to jump back in?
I'm ready.
Proceed to checkout. Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Did you buy it?
I'm about to.
Good. Good.
Let's get started. Let's go.